see the Raptors, extended 24-foot ladder. Anyway, walked out at 5:30 in the morning.
No, we just did this. I'm doing this, and we're going to get to YouTube's. Alright, so we should be about there. Let me know. Let me know, because we're in the pre-show. The pre-show time. Time to check with our tech team. I got an echo. Huge echo. Alright, echo off, echo off, echo one off. By the way, there's a new Ghostbusters coming out. I don't know if y'all saw all the previews for that. They're going to reboot the Ghostbusters. How we sounding over there? I'm good. Everybody else talk?
About damn
How is it?
time.
What do you think?
Testing 1 2.
Testies. Testies.
Check.
Check it.
Check.
Everybody be careful.
Check.
Make sure we don't get
Talk like you're going to talk.
vaporized.
Check.
Sure. How is it? Check.
This is the
Hey.
pre-show.
Hey, how's it going? How you doing? No.
Okay, I think it's fine. I've been turning up the volume. I can hear Julie now.
I have her maxed.
I think Julie has the lowest volume.
I know, I have it maxed though.
More
I don't know
whiskey.
why.
More
I don't know what
whiskey,
it
that's
is.
Yeah.
Something about my voice.
More whiskey.
Yep.
That's it.
I'm going to have to get more whiskey. There you go. More whiskey time.
Start the bar thing early first.
That's
There you
it.
go.
Start the bar story first.
Or half it
Okay.
up,
Start the bar story. I up the gain. But yeah, we'll probably have to look into a different mic for you to be using.
All right.
All the things.
Good. I'm heading back upstairs.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we got the okay. We still got about 5 minutes. This is pre-show. Give everybody time to get in the room. Come talk to us. Come join us for all the crazy shenanigans that's about to happen with these boys. Yeah. And, of course, we got CJ in the house, too. Very excited. Hey. I know. We got some female rock badass happening here, so I'm pretty happy with that. And, yeah, how about the new setup? Let's talk about that. All right.
I'm
What do you
loving
guys
this.
think?
I'm
What do y'all
loving
think?
my life right now.
What do you
Way
think?
better.
Love it.
Like, I can actually see you guys and look at
Way
you.
better.
I didn't see the
And
one
it's not
before,
awkward.
but
That one looked like it could have been across country or something.
Well, that was the idea.
Mhm.
Part of it was, we were doing
Don't tell them
Zoom.
that we weren't any.
It's a secret. It's a secret.
I could recognize that couch anyway.
Yeah, well, part of it was, when we first initially did it was Zoom, a lot of Zoom, so people off-site.
Yeah.
And then we weren't quite over the pandemic, and I was like, well, let's still maintain the 6 feet distance even in the
Right.
studio, and that's kind of where the face thing went. And then I was like, this is really awkward because I'm talking to somebody. I'm literally having to be like straight up here, and they're over here.
And we always had the profile of my face because I'm always looking that way.
And it was a little weird.
I'm so confused.
But now we're around a table,
And I like it much better.
around a big
Way
table.
better, yeah.
We're on the round table.
We're on the round table, actually. I was waiting for somebody to
In the
make that
round.
Are we
joke.
knights?
This is in the round.
I was waiting for somebody to
Alright.
say we're the knights of the round table.
Right.
Well,
Do we say knee?
knee, neep,
Knee?
neep,
Neep.
knee,
No, we
walla,
have-
walla, 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 walla.
We have like extra directions we could take.
Yes. So this is more like the studio, and you guys get to see this cool background. So I don't know if you guys have ever been to the garage spot. You get to see this really cool background now, and make use of all of this fun stuff. I gave them the worst seat, so we'll see after about 2 hours if their bums still like me after this, because we're gonna upgrade the seating. So don't worry. You guys come back, you won't have to sit in those horrible chairs. Office chairs, so we'll get
we
some
need, like,
nice
we need big red
recliners.
armchairs.
Yes,
We do.
yes, we're gonna get nice recliners. And if you guys, of course, are here, say hello over in our chat room. Chat room is right here. That's not changed. That is still here and active and rocking and rolling. And we have Tony Bell. Tony Bell saying, "Hey, what's up, Tony? Thank you for joining us." Yeah, so new setup.
Love
Hey,
it.
Tony.
I know. New setups. We got Mark Cook in the house.
Hey.
What's up, Mark?
What's up? Yeah, man, we got some guitar players coming out of the work. I feel overwhelmed. I'm the
You should.
only,
You always
like,
should.
the only bass player here. How did that work? Right? Yeah.
Nobody's
Because we
surprised.
have
can play
Brian
down
here.
some jams.
Yeah, I play
We have the
bass.
drummer though, but no, yeah, we'll
Not
have
as
to
good
get.
as you, but I do play.
That's true. That's true. Todd does play bass too, so I don't feel
Oh, me
too
too.
alone. And so does Julie. I think everybody should play a little bass, you know.
Man,
It's
for
fun.
real.
Little
And
bass,
it's good for you.
a little guitar. Now I'm learning guitar, that silly, weird string.
She hates the
Mhm.
big
They
That's
string,
right.
threw
though.
that on there, and I'm like,
Burnt
why?
stone.
Now, Wango, our drummer, plays air bass.
Oh.
Everybody should see that. That's awesome.
I'm thinking
Sight to
about
see.
having a air guitar competition. You think so?
Ah.
You think I should have? So,
Let's do it
so
for your birthday.
yes. So the two things I
Yeah.
want to do, definitely air guitar competition. So Mark Cook, I better see you. Number two is I want to do a scream off. If you go online and you,
Oh, I will lose my voice.
yeah, you go online and you literally look at. There's a couple of. So here in the U.S. they do this pig off where you have to make pig noises and then they put them to metal and it's pretty ridiculous. The other one is
How does the scoring system work for this, though?
I don't know where that came from.
yeah, yeah.
Little pig, let me in.
Decibel meter.
See, he's already on it, so we're definitely doing that one. And the other one is over in
that new
Europe
Take
and over in Europe and Scandinavia, they actually have literally like scream offs, like death growl scream offs and stuff like that. So I think we
Well,
should
they
do
got some
that
pretty
too.
big names to live up to over there, so I'm
Yeah.
sure they start young, you know.
They do. They start 'em
Yeah.
drinking young too, man. We are way behind on that ball. So.
It's not all kind of fun.
All right, so we got about another minute or so. We're going to let everybody get their butts into this chat room and join us for the SonicSphere podcast live in Uncut. Uncut, that's right.
Come on, man. Come on.
See,
Bring it.
you have to be here to see this ridiculousness that's
We need the
happening right now.
lightness. We need those lights, like an airplane landing. Come on in.
I do have spotlights. We're working on that.
You know,
Okay,
he
well.
wants to hold him like an air traffic controller.
Yeah, air traffic
Or-
controller. That's it.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you want to rave out. Get you some rave lights. All right.
Just give him some glow sticks.
I have some
You
candles.
took it a step further than I was doing, but okay.
I got some
Got
candles.
some lighters,
Whatever
just don't light
floats your
anything on
boat.
fire.
Yeah, I got some candles over there, fake ones. I'll let you have those. Let's go at it. But anyway, so this is the new setup. We are the Knights of the Round Table, or the Vikings
Neat.
of the Round Table,
That's right.
or I don't know what we'll figure out something. Y'all
Or
write in the chat
Just
room
the
what
round table.
you think it should be, because this is the new setup, and hopefully you guys like it. What am I? All right, hey, I'm the bass player. So there you go. There you go, Tony, Mr. Tony Bell. We'll get you on, man. So we got these guys, and of course Brian waiting in the wings from South Rock. I almost said South Park, but from South Rock.
Yeah, we've caught that a couple of times. Yeah.
South Rock. And we're going to get all into it. Y'all grab some beers, grab some snacks, grab your coffee, grab whatever you want. This is going to be the SonicSphere podcast, and I think we should just go ahead and get right into it. Hope you guys are ready for this. And we are back, everybody. Welcome to SonicSphere Podcasts, episode 57.
Yeah.
57. It's a good year. 57. This, of course, recorded for Monday, June 21st, 2021. Episode called We Fucking Love Rock and Roll. There's my one F. Nobody else can say anything else. We F
It's
and
over.
love rock and roll. That's the name of this episode. You'll
No more
understand.
safety net.
We'll understand what I'm talking about later on that one. I am your host, the Platinum Viking. I've got
I'm Julie, too.
Julie Tool over here in the wings. Gonna rock and roll tonight. We have intro stories. I got a couple for you guys. We're gonna remember Diodario, Janet Diodario. We're gonna remember her today. Also, a Led Zeppelin frog.
It's kind of cute in an ugly way. Yeah.
Led Zeppelin frog. How about that? A little science and music. Julie, what intro story you got for us?
Well, this is Stravinsky's birthday, so, I mean, we know a lot about him, but we'll talk about some things that maybe you didn't know.
Okay. Alrighty. Then we're going to get into it, and we're going to talk to these jokers right here from South Rock. I've got William Tad Smith. What's
Yeah.
going on?
Thank
Also
you.
known as Tad, right? Go by
That's
Tad.
right.
We've got
Sammy Howard.
Sammy Howard,
Hey, hey.
who goes by Sammy Howard.
Yeah.
Right.
Goes by Sammy Howard.
Sammy,
Sam,
Slammy.
Sam, Sammy.
Sambo.
Yeah, there you go.
Samuel will come.
Samuel.
in
I'm gonna
trouble
call
or
you
something,
Samuel
or
from
have
now
you got
on, man.
called to the principal's office.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
When you were in trouble,
Yeah.
it was Samuel. All right,
Knew
and
it
of
should
course
skip
we've got
school today.
Brian Rumpel, right? Rumpel. Rumpel. In the sidelines here, the drummer. So we're going to get into it.
Nope.
Nope.
He's not the
Engineer.
drummer.
You're not
He's
the
an
drummer.
engineer.
Well, why did you make me believe you're the drummer? Just kidding. Just kidding, man. I'm confused. Okay, so we've got the engineer here tonight, which is cool because I don't usually get engineers in.
And we're glad that he's here.
So we're going to get into
And
it.
Caught one, the question.
So watch out.
And so let's give it up for Wango Tango. Wayne
Tango.
Paz. They give up he sacrificed his position to be here tonight.
Nice.
Maybe next time we'll get a
He
bigger.
was invited.
Yeah.
Right. And Tony Bell, the bass player.
Yep,
so.
we got Tony Bell, who
You
is
guys-
in the chat room, by the way. So,
Hey,
say
Tony.
hey, Tony. Yeah, so awesome. And then, of course, we also have CJ Turner
DJ.
rocking it. So I'm very excited about it. We got the whole house tonight, man. I'm excited. This is going to be fun. So we're going to talk to them about, of course, guitars, a lot of music, Southern rock, writing Southern rock, writing rock music, writing
Old,
music, singing,
middle, and
shredding guitars, shredding things, shredding all sorts of stuff. So yeah, and then of course we're gonna put them as we shred them through the gauntlet of fire. That's right. That's where we're gonna shred them and see if they come out on the other side
We're
after
not
our
warned
questions. Yep. So we'll see how that all goes.
Yeah, thanks.
And then we're gonna rewind the record. We're gonna try a different thing tonight. We have a flip that we're gonna do with the
Yep.
pick, and we're gonna see who goes first. Me or Julie. And we're going to switch off our stories, but we're going to see who goes first based on the flip of the pick. So, a little random chance going on there, a little game. Of course, throughout her whole section, guys, we have trivia. That's where you guys can earn trivia points. They are
Some of
virtual
you have-
points.
Some of you have a few points, actually. Some
I was
people
going
out
to
there
say,
aren't
I
doing too bad.
somehow have points, so you guys really shouldn't be an
Seth's
excuse.
got some good points, and Mark's got a couple points.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
What's the prize?
Well, the prize is at the end of the tunnel. No, just kidding. The prize is, I've got some stuff to give out at the end of the year, guys. If whoever has the best
So we're
virtual
keeping
points, so
tally.
we are actually keeping tally,
Alright.
so it's worth it. So
Get on the game.
I've got a couple bass things to give away. We've also got a couple different guitar strings and some other stuff to give away. So, and we're gonna have merch. It's a big deal, actually. We're going to have merch, so that's going to be a giveaway as well. So lots of things going on that you can win. And then, what stories do you have tonight for us, Julie?
So, I'm pretty excited to talk about this, and you like science stuff. So it was this week that a Dutch scientist discovered the pendulum and patented it,
Nice.
which gives way to the metronome that we have later. Some
Good thing we have the engineer in here to explain what the metronome is.
some weird physics stuff going on with that though, and still a kind of a puzzling phenomenon. Actually, we'll talk about a study from Georgia Tech University with this too, so that'll be
Nice.
fun to talk about. And also, this was the advent of the first FM radio experiment this week, so we'll talk about
Okay.
that.
Okay.
And we get to talk about the first Joy Division album.
Okay.
That came out this week, and it did change a
Nice.
lot of things. You know, the new wave post-punk, scene in Britain and everything, and also music bringing down the Berlin Wall, and why the East German police were kind of afraid of Michael Jackson.
Oh, wow.
So.
There we go, guys. Got some interesting stories with that. Of course, what am I bringing for you guys? Got a couple things. Metallica is back in legal waters again. Yep. Surprise, surprise on that one. Next one is Dave Mustaine explains the current Megadeth bass situation. Get into that a little bit. And, of course, the Black Crowes.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yep. We got a lot of things going on with that. So we're going to talk about that from my stories.
Remedy.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Just like that. And, of course, where are we going to end up? At the bar. Your friendly neighborhood bar where everything ends up.
I'm already
Geekdom,
there.
brews, alcoholic binges, and whatever the hell is left of pop culture all ends up because this is the Black Album. Of course, we talk about anniversary. And guess what we have now? We have new whiskey. We're going to
Now
talk
I
about
know.
some
But what's
whiskey.
it taste
Now
like?
I know the rest of the band is not going to be happy about this.
We're
And
gonna-
we-
we're gonna
and we
talk
give
about some
our
whiskey here.
Spot up for that.
That's it.
That ain't
So
gonna happen again.
we're going to talk about some whiskey. And, of course, we have some local brews to talk about and some tastings. So, yeah.
Cool.
Things to do. Let's go ahead and get into it, though, guys. I'm going to go ahead and kick it off right now with, of course, Diodaria. Very popular strings. A lot of people, I don't know. Do you guys use
I use
I do. I use
use
them.
them?
Chrome.
Chrome? Which ones?
I use 11 and 10s.
11 and 10s?
I use 10s.
10s. Acoustic?
I think
At acoustic lights, yeah, and I use 10s on my electrics.
I use
Yeah.
Chrome's on my bass.
Nice. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So, co-founder, of course, Janet, of the company. Unfortunately, she's recently passed away. She did lose her battle with gallbladder cancer. So we are remembering everything that sort of she's done for the company. You know, gear, they do a bunch of stuff. She was 72. Of course, they met in 1966, and they went on to basically perform music together. So they went out there as a pair, as a duo, playing music, and that's when they came up with this company idea. And 1973, right? So a couple years later, they came up with this company in 1973, of course. They're best known, of course, they've got a lot of guitar and bass strings, but we just did a couple guitar reviews, a couple gear reviews for Guitar Girl magazine. They even have these really cool cases that you can get, and you can literally put like 10 microphones and put all your cables roll. I mean,
I've
it's
seen those for
really
sale.
brilliant. Yeah, it's a really cool bag. So they don't just do strings, they do a lot of other stuff.
They do a lot of storage solution type things,
Yeah.
travel solutions.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So that bag is pretty crazy, especially if you're an engineer or you do sound, you do pro sound. It's pretty amazing. Or if you just want to like store stuff in a really organized way. I mean, like for cosplayers, by the way, I don't know if any of you guys cosplay out there. It's a great way to store all your cosplay stuff. So there's lots of stuff for that, of course. So Janet actually was the one who initially did all of the advertising and developed basically what was the advertising and packaging design for all of this stuff. So she's the one that came up with that. And she became, before she became the head of artist relations, that's also where they co-founded, if you guys didn't know, they have a foundation, right, that they have. The foundation, of course, provides music education to underprivileged children.
Very cool.
So, yeah, so she kind of helped founded that. She's also was involved with, you guys don't know what this is, Providence House, if you're familiar with that. It's a charity that basically provides transitional housing for homeless women and children. So it's a little specific. So they're doing a bunch of stuff. So it's really sad to lose her. And we, of course, give our condolences to the family, to the company, to everybody who knew her. But thank you for what you did.
Right.
There you
Yes,
go.
ma'am.
Yep. All right, Julie, what short story do you have to warm up the stage?
Well, I said we would just appreciate Stravinsky here for a minute.
All
so
right.
let's
Let's
go ahead
do
and do
that.
that. He was born this week in 1882 outside of Petersburg. Obviously, we all know that. They had moved into Petersburg as he was a bigger kid. So, like I said, we know a lot about him. There's some things we don't know about him. His parents were musicians. His father was a bass singer, and his mother was a talented pianist, actually. And think about being born in 1882 and living to 1971 and all the changes he would have seen. I mean, his life was really characterized by innovation in almost every social, political, and industrial infrastructure. I mean, he was born into a world where there were no cars, and then there were spaceships when he left, and so
Like pretty much that turn of the century
Yeah.
sort of thing, yeah.
So that period of history really included Victorian influences on him, 2 major world wars, reassigned global boundaries. He saw it all. And they really influenced him musically, I think. I mean, we know his music is something that's very emotionally stirring, very violent sometimes. Think about Flight of the Phoenix and
Yeah.
The Rite of Spring and all that.
War inspired a little bit too.
Oh, absolutely. So like I said, I mean, just some things maybe you didn't know about him. And here's a trivia question for you.
All right, we're starting it
So,
off with a trivia question.
Stravinsky married twice. His first wife passed away, sadly, the one he had 4 children with, and he married again. In the midst of that first marriage, there was an affair.
Ooh.
With a very famous lady.
What year are we talking about?
About 1920-ish. And there was
Okay.
actually much later from the Ladies' Journal, I believe, a film was made about this affair. So who was this?
Oh,
From Hollywood.
the lady in the pearl
Yeah.
necklace. Is that has anything to do with it?
I mean, I will give you a hint that there's actually a movement of one of his works was titled after this lady. So there's a hint for anybody that really knows
Okay.
Stravinsky's
All
music.
right.
You and I probably would not have played it at school, though.
Okay. All right.
I
so-
didn't. I'm guessing you didn't either.
Probably not.
But
We
you
didn't
probably heard it.
play very much of that. So if you guys know what that
Yeah.
is, you can put it in the little comments down below. That puts it into the chat box, and that lets us know what you think this is.
So just some things about him. I mean, he was the tribalizing creator of groundbreaking scores that overshadowed a lot of his contemporaries at the time. He was just so dramatic. So what's the argument really for why he was such a great composer? Well, he wrote masterpieces in almost every genre, which a lot of people can't really take that credit for. And his ability to continually reinvent himself, think about his lifespan over and over again, ensured that he basically had an iron in every fire. He composed all the way through his 80s. He didn't stop working until he died.
Nice.
And he
Probably
sounded,
some hidden
and he
manuscript somewhere.
I mean,
I'm sure.
I would hope. I hope so. And he sounded as fresh in his 80s as he did when he was a teenager. As far as his imagination and his ability to create art. The Rite of Spring was an unsuspecting musical. We talked about this before in 1913. When he debuted it, that was so stirring that it actually caused riots in Paris. So that's why he's a great composer.
Sound like he would have worked out real good with South Rock then.
Yeah.
As their keyboard player.
There's an argument for being the first rock star for him, really.
Oh man.
For sure.
All right, so let's start the argument. We have lots more of those later on because we have the versus questions we're going to ask. Let's see what you guys fall on. I got a new one. Got a new trivia Gauntlet of Fire question. We're going to see what y'all know.
Stravinsky was also a great conductor. He recorded most of his important works for CBS Sony, which was a really big undertaking. Think about that. In those early days, as well as an invaluable resource for studying illumination. And he conducted all of this. So let's just say he knew the ins and outs of everything that he did. And he wasn't short on opinions. Just for fun, Google some Stravinsky quotes and see what you come up with. I will let you guys do this on your own time, or you can do it. The man he was a very candid individual, I'll say that. He had some pretty strong opinions.
All right, so if you guys are looking for Instagram captions, check that out.
He even wrote a piece for some
Write
elephants.
that name down.
Yeah.
A request was made of him in 1942 by a dancer choreographer, George Blanchardine. This was for a ballet. He asked him to compose a short piece to accompany a ballet of elephants, because that was the image that he had in his head.
Like real elephants, I'm assuming, too.
Well, this was in 42, so it was animated.
Oh.
During which one of the dancers would lift another female dancer up onto their back. So the result was the circus polka, and it was an absolute riot. You should listen to it.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And likely as it may sound, in 1936, Stravinsky also did indeed compose a ballet in 3 deals, based around an ongoing game of poker entitled Loup de Cartes, which includes a joker's dance, combat between spades and hearts, and a dance with 4 queens. Very creative man.
Okay.
Just some things you may not have heard about him. So who was the girlfriend?
So this is 1920s.
Yes.
The Roaring 20s.
Absolutely.
Was she a performer already or a singer herself?
She was a talent, for sure.
A talent. I do not know. We have no guesses. How about our guest? You have guesses?
I'd guess Judy Garland.
Not a bad guess, but no, not her.
I don't know her whole name, but last name's Garbo.
You're not her either. Also a good guess.
A dancer? Nope. All right.
It was Coco Chanel.
Oh.
And he actually wrote a piece called Chanel No. 5.
Oh, and then it became a
What do you know?
fragrance. Okay, that makes more sense now.
It's a great contribution.
Awesome. All right, so
Smell good.
because nobody
It smells really good, actually.
because nobody got that.
But it's also pretty expensive.
Yeah. All right, because nobody got that. All of you that are here in the chat room, you're going to have to hit that like button and the subscribe button because you guys all missed that one.
Otherwise,
but yeah.
it's negative points.
That's right. But yes, as I was supposed to say at the beginning, if you guys like what we do, of course,
And I forgot.
please like the video and, of course, subscribe. We are trying to get up in numbers, and that helps our guests as well.
And right
kind
now
of
we're
get
at
up.
333, and I really want it to be 666.
There you go.
So hit it a
That's-
bunch.
That's it.
Get your friends to hit
That's
it.
it. That's it. Right. So yeah. So there you go. There's my plug. It's over. All right. But let's see if we can keep going with our short stories of the week of the intro. I have Led Zeppelin frogs. So yes, frogs.
Well.
Led Zeppelin. What do they have in common?
Well, they're both great.
There you go. They're both great. We both need them, right? We need both.
We need frogs.
We need
And
frogs.
I definitely need Led Zeppelin.
We need Led
frogs.
Zeppelin. We need both. Okay. So basically, rock icons, these guys, inspired the name of a new species just found out in the foothills of the
Ecuador and Honduras.
Yeah, Ecuadorian Andes. They've named it specifically after Led Zeppelin. So we have a Led Zeppelin frog.
And
You
it's
guys-
kind of cute, actually. I
pretty
just
cute.
Googled it.
It's pretty cute. Go check it out. Type it in. Its full name is, I have to find it because it's kind of weird. It can be up to 3.6 centimeters big. And it has coppery red eyes. It's got kind of this multicolored yellow, brown, black, orange skin.
Kind of a toady looking thing.
A little toady looking thing, yeah. It's known as Led Zeppelin, one word, and it's the 28th Pristimantis species found in that region, so it's Pristimantis Led Zeppelin. Yeah.
So we have to preserve these ecosystems,
That's
guys,
it.
so we can name it after our favorite bands.
That's right. So, unfortunately, these poor frogs are actually
Endangered.
Endangered, from a lot of things going on with climate change and encroachment onto the habitat. So they're hoping also, because Led Zeppelin was such a big influence in music, and they're hoping that it kind of sheds light and kind of highlights these frogs, so that people can think about what we're losing with all of this stuff that's going on in the world right now. So there's a lot of logging happening there. There's a lot of mining. There is still the diseases that are happening with these frogs, so they don't really know where to put a pinpoint on where it's coming from and stuff. Yeah, so they are threatened right now. So hopefully we don't lose these Led Zeppelin frogs. I mean, that would be a shame, but we just did find them. So wonders await. We don't know every animal out there, so it's kind of cool. And you can also type in, there's about 20 other animals who've been recently discovered who are named after different rock and metal bands inspired by. The two scientists are huge Led Zeppelin fans. Of course.
That may be where they got this.
Yeah, it could be.
Misty Mountain Hop.
It could be a little
Possibly.
bit.
Their next song going to be a whole lot of Toad.
A whole lot of toad.
But
Whole lot of toad going
Oh,
on.
brother, where are there? Keeps coming to mind though, and I can't. I'm trying to get it out of my mind, but dude, we thought you were a toad.
I love that movie.
Oh,
Start
Toad,
CJ
where are
singing
you?
over there.
That's it. That's it.
I had to get it. Now I'm done with it.
You feel
Are
better?
you good?
Now
You
we
good?
can move on.
You
We
good?
can
He
move
had to
on
get
now.
that out. It was gonna hurt him if he kept it in.
We do have Teresa Loudon, by the way, saying, hey, Sam.
Hey.
Yeah,
What's up,
yeah,
Teresa?
some fans. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, so this is SonicSphere Podcast, and we just talked about Led Zeppelin frogs. How about that? So there you go. And on that, since Sammy wants to sing, I think we should just go right into introducing our special guest over here.
We should.
We've got, of course, South Rock, and we're going to bring Brian in a second. But first, we've gotten two hot seats right now. To my, I don't know, on the screen, whatever side you're on, right, left, Sammy.
That would be stage left. Yeah.
Stage left, yeah, because we are, well, we could technically do that because we're on stage now. We're not
we are on
like,
stage now. This is the stage.
It's a stage. It's a stage. Don't bang on the table.
Round table.
Technically stage
I did it
right.
one time.
One time. All right. We got Sammy and Tad, and we're going to talk about South Rock.
Oh,
We've got stuff to talk about. You guys have been playing. You've been out playing.
yeah.
So that's a good thing. And one of the things I like to ask every big guest that first comes on, one of the first questions is, what is something that's been cool and exciting that has kind of happened to you guys recently that you want to share? I always like to share good news. I always like to share something positive.
I guess it would be, of course, we write songs and we practice those songs, rehearse them. Well, practice and rehearse are two different words. I finally realized myself. Practice is what you do at home, and when you get to when you get to rehearsal, then you rehearse it for the show. So we put our songs together, and some of the gigs that we've got to do, I guess, Dad could help me out. That would be like 37 Main with
Right.
Faster Pussycat.
I was going to say, you had some
They
big
had a
ones.
few hits, and back in the '80s, and House of Pain, and what was the other one?
Well,
Found Your Number on the Bathroom Wall. There's a couple more, but and then we got to open up with, or actually David Allen Coe opened up for us. Tad can tell you how
Nice.
that one happened,
we done
which was
live
a
in
great,
Florida.
a great honor at the Iron Horse Saloon during Bike Week a couple years back, and then we did the 2D Palooza original music
Yeah.
festivals.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. When was that? You guys
And
just
the
did
one
that,
in
right?
November
Yeah.
that
well,
was original.
November and
Tad can take over on that.
November, and then
Mhm.
I think it was April or did May.
And then the one
And
we did in November, I'd been talking to this keyboardist because we were always looking for a keyboardist that can also play guitar. Well, we'll just if we have to get it just a keyboardist, we can handle the guitar. But I'd been talking to this guy online, I didn't realize it on Facebook, because I'd seen about a year previously, and I thought, well, he's playing a Hammond B3. He must be pretty
Very
good.
cool.
Had long white hair, and he's playing like he knows what he's doing. I thought, well, okay.
Well, let's hope.
Little did I
Yeah.
know, it was Armin Blackwater, not the original keyboardist, but he's been playing with Steppenwolf since 1975. And so Tad's like, you're not going to find anybody that can learn that stuff in 3 weeks before the
Right.
show. He's like, I
Right.
bet you. We won't tell you the amount, but I'll just tell you I did win the bet. But anyway,
Ooh, man.
so
There you go.
so I gave him Tad's number, and Tad called him, and he says, Sammy said that you're going to have to set me up a room in DeLand, Florida, which is there in Daytona. For tomorrow, I'm going to be playing with you guys
Oh,
That's
man.
right.
at the DeLandapalooza Music Festival,
That's awesome.
and it was great.
It was
so
awesome.
Yeah.
everybody looked for the.
Everybody
I think
else was
it's on
staying
your
home, and we were out playing.
Yeah, it was actually the very first music festival, outdoor music
Right.
festival anywhere in the country. We got to play it. It was in originally supposed to be in March or May.
Yeah.
It,
I'm saying.
when it got because
2020,
of the
so-
pandemic,
so
it got
November.
pushed to
Okay.
November.
It was still,
Wow.
it was still out last year.
And of course, we
Wow.
got to go play. This one was on time
Yeah.
from November. Then we went to April, I think it was, and played that one. So
The cool thing about it is we all piled in this rented SUV, loaded up with
oh yeah,
equipment.
that's
And
great.
Sammy was in a
Love
little
it.
jump seat in the back with guitars over his head. And
Oh, man.
he wrote a new song on the way back.
There you go. I was going to
Yeah.
say, like, a song came out of this, I hope.
Absolutely,
I
one
hope
of
some
my
photos came from this.
favorite is
Yeah,
called "On the
we
Open
had a
Road."
good video and
Got a
I love
video
it.
from
Yeah.
it? Okay,
on the
good.
open road. We're excited about it. It's going to be
Yeah,
on the new
open
CD.
road.
Open road. Okay.
On the open road.
right.
On the open road.
Absolutely.
All right, Sammy, sing us like sing us a little bit of that.
That one?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I mimic the guitar? Wow 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 wow. Then he goes bow down 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 boom da da dum da da dum dum da 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 boom 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 boom. Well, what do you know, would you? Look at that. Well, there's my old hometown. I used to hang my hat. We keep a running down the road just to see where it goes. I keep a running free on the range. I still run with the pack. And that's right where I want to be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I love living my life out here on the open road. On the open
There we
road.
There we go. That's
Love
it.
it.
That's it. Sammy.
And then it
Howard.
mellows down. It goes, and it goes, if you look out far and wide, awesome is what you see. To know that this big old world was made for you and made for me.
There you go.
One day we hope to walk the streets of gold, just like the man upstairs is told. Until then, you can find me out here somewhere on the
Yeah.
open road.
Nice, man. I got to cut you off. I can only have 15
I won't
seconds of
get
the song
loud.
on here. I'm going to cut you off. That was pretty good,
Well, I
man.
had to play the guitar and the
I was going to say, yeah, I had to let you do that, but I can only let certain
More
amount. No,
whiskey.
just kidding.
More
See
whiskey.
whatever's going to come after me.
Instrumentalist over here.
Whatever's going to come after me, I got to watch out. But that was pretty good, man. So, On the Open Road, got some new music coming out.
Oh, yeah.
When is that going to come out? When are we going to see all that?
Or hear it.
as soon as possible.
Still looking for a good studio,
Okay.
Well,
Oh,
I
okay.
think we found
Got a
that.
lot of material.
We found
Okay.
that, and I think I know how we're gonna get the key. There again, mainly that's fixing to happen now. We
Okay.
got one big show to play July 3rd.
All right,
July
what is
4th
that one?
Weekend.
What are y'all doing on
It's
July?
Crazy Acres.
Crazy Acres.
My brother, actually Oliver and his
Greenville,
wife
Georgia.
Tammy, do the karaoke up there, and this has been about 3 years ago. They're like, we're going to build a concert venue. We hear Oliver says, my brother, y'all have a band. We're like, we do. I said, well,
I
we're
hear
going to
y'all
build
have a band.
a concert venue out back. I'm like, oh, because a medium to small club. Concert venue, big stage, big field. They want us to play, I
There you
guess,
go.
like the grand opening, and
Okay.
then a bonfire party afterwards. So
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
We
it's
go at
technically
10
not a
o'clock.
grand opening. It's a Southern series by Shay and Steve of Mother Legacy. I'm not sure if
Okay,
you're
yeah,
familiar with them.
yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'm bringing in the local.
So
Yeah.
we're bringing the fireworks at 12
Nice.
from 10 to 12, and
Yeah.
boom, and there
All
goes
right.
the
Can
neighborhood.
anybody come out to this? So
Absolutely,
This is,
yeah.
okay.
This is
there
probably
you go.
something you want
There
to
you
go
go.
to.
It's going to be a ticketed event, but
Ticketed, but you can get out
Mhm.
there. It's
Oh, yeah,
open
it's gonna be-
field, open bonfire.
Is it all ages?
no, it's not open field. It's a
It's an
stage
actual
outside.
Stage outside,
you
but
know.
I mean, it's like it's not like in a.
The stage. is
Yeah,
covered.
it's in an area, you know.
Is it? It's not in a building though.
No,
it's
it's not
an
in a building,
outdoor.
but
That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
it's
It's an
outdoor.
outdoor.
But to get
Okay.
there, I think you have
Probably
to go.
fenced in area, whatever, you know. typical.
You have to go through Crazy Acres Bar to get to the Crazy Acres.
Okay, so there's a bar. That's important.
And we
Yeah.
will.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll be playing Crazy Train Bob.
And
at
I was
Crazy
told
Acres.
afterwards it's got on a 40-acre lot, and they got like a bonfire and stuff they're gonna be doing afterwards up on a hill, and
Nice.
People
And
hang out
fireworks.
there, yeah.
Beautiful.
Camping out there, or is it?
yeah, camping.
Camping?
and,
All right, party, man, party.
Our
If you're looking for
friends,
something to do, 4th of July, there's a lot of stuff going on in Atlanta and outside of Atlanta, but definitely check this out. This sounds fun.
yeah.
You'll get your rock on, and they're gonna kick it. Who else are you playing with that?
We're doing the whole
Is it?
event.
You're
yeah.
doing the whole thing. Oh
9 to
man,
12, I believe. You know.
you're doing the whole thing.
So a good
Amy?
3-hour show.
If you
Yeah,
guys want to come
simple.
warm us up, though, we'd
Yeah.
love to have you.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I might, depending
on
on what day it actually is, because I know we're playing full throttle.
It's a
so
Saturday.
we'll
July
have to
3rd falls
see.
on a Saturday.
Yeah, I think we're
Yeah.
probably playing a Saturday, but musicians curse. But I'm gonna check that out, man. That's awesome. All right, so let's talk about like sort of the band itself real quick. Let's get into where did it start? What was the idea behind it? Tell me your story, man.
I've been with them 6 years, but Sammy, it's his
Yeah.
band.
Okay, I'll try to make it as quick as possible.
That's right. That's right. 15 seconds.
Sammy's famous last words, right?
Uh-oh.
No, in 2000, around 2002, something like that. We around 2001, we this guy owed me like $10,000, and he asked me for a ride. Imagine that.
He owed you $10,000 and asked you for a ride.
He did because we
The
had,
audacity.
and I won't even say the name of the rock company. Dude,
Wow.
man, rocks.
Okay.
Hot. No, but anyway, so he it'll be so much trouble. But anyway, he came by and he's walking down the road. Of course, no vehicle. He did the rock work in front of Wayne, our drummer, Wango, house, and I was the guy in charge of the manager for the 3 different rock crews. Took care of read the blueprints and all that, make sure everything was good, and, So anyway, so I just finally said it got more and more he owed me. I quit. I said I'm done. Walked away from it, and then he wouldn't stop bugging me till I give him a ride to the drummer's house. We get to the drummer's house, Wayne Potts, Wango, and so Wayne goes like, I hear you play guitar. I said, yeah, hear you pretty good. I can hold my own. I'm as good as myself most of the time. But then he says,
That's a great way to answer that question.
So Wayne,
Yeah.
I'm gonna use that if you don't mind.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Go right
I'm as
ahead.
good as myself most of the time.
Just throw a penny in the jar. You're good.
Yep.
But
I'll do
and
it.
I told Wayne, no, Wayne told me, he says, well, I got a gig for us. Sunday. Or no, he said, I got a gig for us. And I said, you mean a gig for us? What are you talking about? He said, the way you play. He says, we play original music. Here's a tape. Here's 10 songs. It was Wednesday. That Sunday, we played the first Ride for Craig with them.
Okay.
I learned 10 originals, and we played all original stuff with Hank Bird and Borderline, and then it went from there. Next thing you know, we're recording at Stone Mountain, and how the name South Rock was looking through a photo album that 2 or 3 years before that. It's 2003, so it was around 2005, 6. No, 7 or 8, right. I was looking through, and it said South Rock, 2003, right as we were passing Stone Mountain. I was like, oh, that's a South Rock right there.
Yeah.
It's a big rock.
Famous
I mean,
rock.
it's a huge
Right.
South Rock.
And I'm like, I think I found the name of the band.
That's it.
And that's the way to go. That's
Yeah,
the way. And then
nice.
it went from
Alright.
there. Next thing you
Went
know,
from there.
we're recording. Then we do that. We do our CD release party up at Good Old Days. And, we were doing original gigs. We were doing cover gigs because I've always off and on. Wayne was opening up for Molly Hatchet on this side of town for the same promoter that I was from the other side of town. Charlie Land was doing some shows, Molly Hatchet, and we did open up for Molly Hatchet, Foghat, and I forget the third band. But anyway,
Nice.
So then we wound up
Okay.
playing some places like Wild Bill's to support
Oh,
the-
Wild Bills. If y'all are Atlanta
some
natives, you
great-
know Wild Bills.
Oh, I know all
exactly
about
what
Wild
goes
Bills.
on at Wild Bills.
There's a really good skate spot out back, and that's where I first started going there for.
I
But
think
anyway,
we just need to go take it back over and maybe do like one of those squatter things.
It's just sitting there, man. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
they
just
got the green rooms and everything.
yeah, a lot of memories.
somebody around here's got the keys.
A lot of memories at
And
Green
then
at that.
we-
Yeah.
Really. And then so we met, and then of course we got with Bruce Bennett, good friends, best friends with like Sugarland,
Mm-hmm.
and we recorded in Stone Mountain. Matter of fact, that's where we were going to.
That's where you're gonna go to for this?
Yeah,
Coming
well,
up,
if
possibly?
Well, I tried calling you, Bruce. I don't know if you're out there, Bruce.
Bruce,
Bennett,
if you're listening,
where are you?
He's got a
you're
message
listening
for you.
to our little
But,
old podcast.
So, but if you hear the song
It's our little new
Sidetracked,
podcast.
Sidetracked, we got he actually did the voiceover of Herman Cain. We were going to do Neil Bortz at the end. It does a little narrating thing,
yeah.
and he wound up saying, "No, let me do it. I'm thinking, I pulled over on the side of 285. I'm writing this down, literally, not the exit, but on the side, writing it down at what we have to do here is to not get sidetracked from the concept or idea. For once the original desire, feel the direction you were taking till you reach or achieve your intended goal. Otherwise, you will suffer greatly,
right.
and
I
you'll
love
get
that.
sidetracked."
Awesome. There you go.
So anyway,
Some of the best writing happens on the side of the road.
and
I'm telling
then
you.
Tad,
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess we met
Or the
Tad.
bathroom. I mean,
Really?
it's one of the two. Definitely the bathroom. I
Yeah,
don't know if anybody
bathroom,
else.
side
You're
of the
sitting
road.
there, and it's like that's it. I mean, I'm sorry. Bathroom, great inspiration.
It's the middle of the night for me. I wake up
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have to get up in the middle of the night, write something. Yeah.
always.
So a little bit after that, we met Tad, and then Tad.
And Tad grew a beard, and the
Right.
rest is history.
He did.
Yeah.
Hasn't had that beard as long as I've known him.
Distinguished.
No.
Well, that
beard,
just opened up
yeah.
a whole new can of worms, didn't it?
New look.
I like it.
Tad's got a new
Absolutely.
beard.
Rocket Tad.
Anyway, yeah.
It looks
so
good. It looks
we
good.
went down to Muscle Shoals where I lived for a while, and I knew all the recording people there, and we
I borrowed-
recorded a song.
Yeah, but
We're gonna
little
make a
bit before
visit.
that, he let me borrow his 12-string acoustic.
Right.
I hadn't played a 12-string in how many
Right.
years? To play, I played Georgia Rhythm, and then I played one original song I wrote called "Whatever Happened to Forever."
Yeah.
Whatever Happened to Forever. So Tad's like, "Well, here, play mine," because I didn't. I'm like, "Well, sure, okay." So I did the ARS Georgia Rhythm, and then I did the other song, the original song, "Whatever Happened to Forever." Then he's like, "Look at
My
all
mouth
these people."
dropped.
He
I was like,
started-
"Whoa, that is good."
he started scrolling on his phone. Look at these people I know from Muscle Shoals. And if
Oh,
y'all have never
wow.
seen the Muscle Shoals documentary,
I have.
that is the name.
Yeah,
Isn't it
I love it.
awesome?
I know
It
'em
gives
all.
me cold chills. And
Oh, it does
stuff.
me too.
And we got to actually go record there, Tad. Next thing you know,
Yeah.
Tad's in the
So
band, we're
freaking
playing
cool.
and jamming and
Mhm.
That's how
writing
that
and
happens.
on our way to
On the way to
Muscle Shoals,
stardom, man.
Alabama.
On the way to
Sweet
rock
home
star
Alabama.
status right here.
Oh yeah,
That's
it
it.
was
That's
awesome.
up. Yeah.
So there you go.
Hell
We
yeah.
hired some local musicians. One was Will McFarland's son, who was a lead guitar player with Bonnie Raitt,
Nice. Okay.
and
yeah.
NC Thurman, who played with
One of the original Swampers.
Greg Allman, and
Be awesome.
Awesome. Hell yeah.
Oh, man, we could go on for 3 days. You know.
Going for 3
I
days.
think that would be a record for a podcast. 3 whole days.
Well, you know,
yeah.
we are going to take this podcast on the road, so
and I'm very excited about
We
that.
will definitely
Yeah,
on
eventually
our
the numbers
on
would
our
add up, wouldn't it?
place to stop is going to be that. And I do want to bring Brian in.
Yeah.
So we're going
Here
to
he
get him
comes.
in here.
let me get out.
Brian Rumpel, come on
Actually,
in while we
you
bear
wanna
with us while
take
we
my
switch him in and
place?
out. Tad's
You want-
too
you wanna
cool
get
with
up
his
or you
beard.
want- or you want
No,
to
I'm
sit?
good. Here, no, sit.
Okay.
But
All
you
right.
may come back and I may take a break here in a few.
All right,
Switch 'em
you're in
in.
the hot seat now, man.
Get this up
All right,
to where we
yeah.
can all hear you.
Let me
All
get
right.
where I can
Is there
hear
straps on that chair? Yeah.
Maybe.
Strap it in.
You
Need a
never know.
seatbelt?
Might.
Strap it on.
You never
I was
know.
gonna say, just
Night's
watch.
young.
Keep your legs still for me. All right. So let's get into it, guys. Brian, introduce yourself. What do you do?
My name's Brian Rumpel, and I'm their new engineer for everybody. And
We can also make this come up if we need to.
Yeah.
do that.
yeah,
Get it all adjusted. You know, Tad's a big guy. He's
yeah,
tall.
he's been a lot taller than me,
You're also
definitely.
sitting up straighter than he was. Just
That
saying.
too. You know.
But yeah, just the engineer for these guys and trying to get them a good sound. And we're thinking about doing a few different things and taking these guys into the future. That's our
Okay.
goal. But yeah, they
And-
brought me in and
Yeah.
And-
So do you run a studio? What do you do? Like
They
give me
have a
some-
small studio.
Okay.
It's Wango's design and build, and we just remodeled it, and we're fixing to go ahead and start putting some stuff together for them. So right now we're working off of antiquated stuff, but
Hey
we've
man,
got-
so are we, man.
The old
we got
stuff is
some
the
new
good stuff, though.
We got some new stuff, so
Okay,
we're gonna
okay.
see how it works. You know,
Okay, all right.
Sometimes a
Cross
little
our
old
fingers.
school, a little new
you
school.
got more faith in me than I do.
Sometimes the new
best
stuff
of
makes
it.
your old stuff break, though.
It does.
Sometimes, sometimes,
does.
yeah. But sometimes, sometimes that's,
Sometimes it
if you know
works.
how to work that
Yeah.
stuff, though, that's what I'm saying.
The
If you're
stuff.
Right.
super familiar with some even the older systems or the patches or the packaging or whatever or the mics that you're using,
Right.
then you can make some magic happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I will say, like, things are getting smarter, smaller.
Yeah, and it's all
Cleaner.
going digital, and you're able to do a lot of stuff with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and these young kids, they've got some really cool music out there.
They do, yeah.
do, so,
yeah. So, what's
yeah.
your background? What do you?
Well, believe it or not, I'm an electrician by trade, and I have
Nice.
a little remodel company there in Cumming, and I got interested by Sammy. He brought me over to hear the band one night, and I saw the equipment, and they said,
And VR pipes.
See what you can
We
do.
know where Tad is.
Somebody's in the bathroom. Okay.
Echolocation.
Yeah.
So, and so now he started out on our PreSonus board. He had been
Okay.
reading. He had been reading.
I was gonna
up
say,
on
so
it
what's
for
the
like
equipment? What are
4
you using?
months, 4 or 5 months, and then we get in there and we have 2 or 3 practices on that, and then all of a sudden, boom, we're moving out. We're remodeling. Then he gets
Okay.
thrown to the sharks and has to go back to the analog that he had never done. So now, but the good thing about it, he's at every practice. He hasn't really
nice.
even missed a practice. I don't think, maybe one. And but he's there
He's
all
calling
the
you
time.
out right now, by the way.
And-
He's like,
but-
dedicated.
Brian's
But,
shaking his head, and
Nah.
Sam was like,
But-
uh-oh.
but,
Oh, not starting anything on the podcast.
But the main thing is he's most of the time he's there, and
That's
he's
awesome.
he's putting, he's jumping.
So are
all
y'all
over.
recording everything that you do? Like you record your practices?
The good
Yeah.
thing is he knows analog and digital.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, they threw me in.
Which are
and
2 different monsters, but it wasn't on purpose. But it's a good thing in the long run.
It worked out. I didn't have any clue what I was doing with the analog.
Talk about learning curve.
Okay, so you
So-
started with the Persona, so
I
you started
with
more of the
PreSonus,
digital
learned
stuff.
how to
Okay.
use it, set it up, and got it going. And then all of a sudden, the remodel happened, and they jerked everything out of the room and put me on an
So
analog.
what's your analog?
Well, I don't
using?
even know what the thing is. I couldn't tell you because I couldn't turn it
It's,
on when I first started using
I
it.
think it's a 24
So-
channel
It's like
Yamaha.
Mac-
board.
Yeah,
Yamaha.
it's
Okay,
nice.
well,
You
there you
know.
go.
For back in the day, it was a great piece of equipment. So
Yeah, hey, you know what? Yamaha, you can get a 20-year-old Yamaha analog board, and that thing is worth gold. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
yeah.
still running.
It's unique
It-
sound.
You can take it
Yeah.
to work, that's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if you find one of them too, they're the same, almost the same price as they were. I feel like
Yeah.
Yeah.
when you first got them, almost. I
They
mean,
don't
they
depreciate.
don't depreciate unless there's something like really kind of wonky about it. But
Yeah.
I most of the time, these are like 20, 30-year-old boards that have been
That's why I
used
keep saying let's just overhaul
for
the board.
everything and every
It's a
concert
good
and dragged
backup.
around the country, and they still like work or ripped out of a major studio because we're losing a lot of the studios, so
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of
We
this
are.
stuff is being dumped on the market.
Yep. And it is good equipment, and we do have a killer sound with it. But the
Yeah.
PreSonus just opens up a whole nother realm for
So
us.
talk to me about that. What's the difference?
Well, it's just the programming. You're able to take any sound and anything that is out there and just put it into your music, and that's audio wise. And you can also dub it over to the video.
So it's like the
and
preamps are like a little bit better, and you're
fat
talking about
channels
like
right there in front of you.
Got
So if you want to
EQs.
really dial in somebody's voice, it makes it really, really sweet. You can get a good crisp sound out of everything.
And all your equalizers and stuff.
It's
that-
all
so it's
built
also
in.
probably presets
All
too,
that
Yeah, it's
which,
got
which
every.
I think is a big.
It's all
if
right
you don't
there
know what you're doing,
in
the
it.
PreSonus is a good one to learn on. The
Now, do you have
analog-
straight up PreSonus digital, or do you have the one that's the hybrid with the still has the analog board sliders? And
It's got the sliders
still
and
got the
everything.
sliders, yeah.
It's the both, yeah. But
Okay.
I like it because you can fine tune with it. Where some of
Mm.
the other, some of the newer stuff is you can't fine tune with it like you can that.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Okay.
And we're really looking forward to getting it going and getting a lot of practice on it.
Nice, nice. So once it's remodeled,
Yeah,
You can
we're
go-
about a week out. Hopefully,
Okay,
it just
okay.
depends on
We'll
how
have a
fast the engineer can get it engineered.
Housewarming, a little housewarming party, maybe.
Oh, is
Yeah,
there going to be a
yeah,
housewarming
definitely.
party? Do we need to come to that?
Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
We need to come to that.
Yeah, it's
All
gonna be
right.
wild.
Cool. We're going to a
Yeah.
party.
We're going to a housewarming party.
That's right.
That's right. All right.
Yeah, present
so-
suggestions, Bud Light or
Right.
whiskey.
BOB.
What's that whiskey you were talking about earlier? Yeah.
Whiskey?
The
Right.
Metallica whiskey.
Whiskey?
We
Black-
want some of that.
That's it,
whiskey.
Metallica.
We're going to bring them blackened.
And nothing else matters. Yeah. That's it.
Nothing else matters. at
Which
that
one of the
point.
questions later is actually what do you think the most commonly used word in Metallica's lyrics is? I'll leave that up to you guys in the chat room. No checking it out, no googling it, but it is a trivia question.
So
for
it's
later.
not an article or a preposition, right? Because that's not fair.
It's a word. It's
What type of word?
It's a word. I'm not going to give any more of that. What do you think
I'll
it
Google it
is?
later.
And I'll give you a hint. It's not yeah.
Okay.
So if you guys know, put it, of course, in the chat room over here. And what else do we want to add? What else want to? We got the gauntlet coming up, so
Well-
that's next. Where can people find you guys? Where you play? So you're playing
That's
next.
our next step. We're going to have a YouTube page going on for the
Great.
guys.
Okay,
We've
cool.
got this system set up for it. I'm just waiting to get this room finished
Yeah.
so that these guys will be pretty much anytime you want to see them when they're practicing, you'll be able to go on and see them.
Are you gonna do
That's a
like
great idea.
y'all doing music videos? You doing live stream? You
Just-
doing all of the above? You
Yeah.
doing a
We're
little
going to
bit
be
of that, a little
doing
bit of what?
both.
Both.
We're
Okay.
going to be doing both.
Okay.
Actually, we're about to record one, hopefully on the open road,
Pretty soon.
because it's got that cool guitar part. Wah, wah, wah.
It's got the cool guitar part.
But it catches your ear right off the bat, and then it's like, bam, it's on after that. But,
Okay.
so that, and then, but the title will be of the CD is Fire and Lightning.
Okay.
There's songs in
Nice.
there, that, and then, of course, the other one, and then Big Dog Barking. On the High Side of Life, I woke up this morning to the guitar screaming Jimmy Page. Poured myself up some coffee. I was out the door and on my way. So,
There you go.
what's some of the others? That's,
You got 21 of them.
there's, please,
Man.
please me. If someone said, here, call that one called, Please Don't Tease Me. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of a little bit cliche, but it took me about a month and I come up with it. I don't mind if you tease me, as long as you're, I don't mind if you tease me as long as your intentions is to please me. So please me.
There you go.
Now that's the chorus, so,
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I could get into sing that verse too, but we won't
Nope,
go there.
nope.
We
We've
won't
already
go
had
there.
her 15 seconds. Can't do it.
We're keeping it PG rated, folks.
They got half the album already.
That's right.
My
That's right.
kids out there.
You got half of them right there, man.
Trying to keep it PG. I know
Where them kids at?
borderline.
We got half of it. All right, guys. All right. Anything else you guys want to add?
No, reverb. You want to talk about reverb and
Yeah,
can-
right. We're on Reverb Nation.
Okay.
Great.
Look up Reverb Nation South Rock Songs or South Rock Songs Reverb Nation. I
You
guess
got it.
works either
South
way.
Rock. Yep.
Something.
/ songs. Go check
Yep.
that out. Of course, in
We've
our
been
links
number
down
one or
here.
Number 2 for like 4 years now.
Nice.
With
so
the
yeah.
original.
With
on
original
the original
music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because, well, that's what
it
that's
is,
kind of
man.
what Reverb Nation is, the platform, So
Okay.
And then the YouTube and all that will be
Maybe we'll
coming.
pull
So
back
yeah,
and go some other bands
SoundCloud.
too.
You're on SoundCloud, right?
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
YouTube's.
Yep.
All the things.
all
Yep.
that stuff.
All the things.
We'll
okay.
start
And
up
there'll be
audio.
Maybe
more.
more.
Yeah, there's
There'll
going
be
to be
more.
tons
Awesome.
and tons and tons.
And
We've
if you
got
go on there now, you get a free Ginsu knife.
If you go on there now, you get a free
She
extra
says,
lyric.
cool.
Get an extra lyric from Sammy if you go on there now and hit
Extra.
subscribe. There you go.
right.
All right. So yeah, so we got to do the gauntlet. I'm debating on getting you back up here, Ted.
That's a good idea.
Come on back up here.
Come on up. I'll take a break.
I was gonna say we can squeeze him in.
It's kind of like musical. What was it?
We'll squeeze 'em
we were
in.
playing
Here.
with kids.
Whoop.
Musical chairs.
Here, just put that over there and let.
So it looks
Sit on
like
that.
no one's excused. He's
All
just
right,
getting added.
that's it.
Yeah.
We're adding. We're
I was
adding.
actually going to
Chad in.
Now remember, he's a big guy.
That's why we're switching. That's a tiny
can come
We
chair.
have to
later.
squish in.
That's a
this.
tiny
I'm gonna
chair.
take a short break.
Oh,
No, you can't take a break.
Oh no.
hot
No.
seat, hot seat.
As we move all this, make all this noise around, we'll figure out a better way of
Now my head cut off now.
You guys are doing
No,
great.
you're good. You're good. Get Tad in
I
here.
think that
Okay.
still lets down. There's
I'm
like
gonna have to have a
lever
yeah.
that you can-
No, not that one.
not that one.
No, all right.
You're just gonna be really tall.
All right, guys.
6'1", I'm
So
sorry.
put that up to you, or hold it or something.
Yo.
Don't kill each other over here while we switch you guys out
That's
or knock everything over. There you go.
Almost,
All right.
Had a cuss word.
all right. We
right.
We didn't hear the cuss word.
Yep.
The mic was
Yeah,
away.
you might have to take off the thing and
And share.
share
I'll
it.
share with my.
There you go.
Samuel.
Okay. All right. Let's do the gauntlet before we do the rest of everything, which is number one. We have to figure out what y'all's stripper names are.
This is gonna be probably one of the funniest ones. I'm already anticipating.
All right. Stripper name. Julie, want to go ahead and start that? Tell them how to figure that out.
All right, Sammy. Are you first, or no? It's Tad first, since he has the mic.
Right.
What was the name of your first pet?
Aries.
This is already good. What street did you grow up on, or spend the most time on as a child? I guess.
Harbor Road.
Aries Harbor. I like it.
Yeah.
Aries Harbor.
All right. Like a
Okay.
safe harbor that might get you killed. 'Cause it's the god of Aries. Not sure. It's tricky. All right, Brian.
Same question.
Put it right up to your
First
face.
pet.
There you go.
Thor.
Thor.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
the street
man.
that you grew up on the most.
Okay.
as a
Rocky
kid.
River.
Oh,
Thor's Rocky River.
That's kind of.
Thor's River.
Like it.
Thor's River. That's got multiple things.
The name of your first pet.
First pet.
He's something that.
No, can't use that one either.
Oh man.
No, you gotta be truthful. That's the whole
Not
point
the
of the
first
game.
thing you petted.
Big Dog,
What was this dog's name?
Big Dog,
Big Dog.
Oh, there we
and
go.
Hickory
Big dog.
Flat Highway.
Big Dog Hickory Flat.
Big Dog Hickory.
Actually, and one of the songs on the new CD is gonna be Big Dog Barking.
There it is. There it is.
Good
All
job.
right. So now that we all know your guys' names, one of the things we like to ask people is, this is a music podcast, so we have to ask, what is the most beat up album in your collection? It can be digital, it can be a tape, it can be a vinyl, it can
Whatever
be
format. What gets the most plays that you own?
I mean, I've got to see a tape deck from AC/DC. That one I've had. I can't throw it away.
Which one?
It's the Back in Black. And
Back
it
in
was
Black?
one-
1980.
back in the- yeah, and it was
So-
one of the
so-
first tape decks tapes that I ever had. So
nice.
Cool.
Can you
Yeah.
still read the lettering, or is it all gone?
no, it's still in
It doesn't
pristine
work?
condition.
There.
It,
Oh, wow,
yeah,
cool.
it still
Okay.
works. Yeah, you can
Okay.
listen to it.
That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. So you'll be very excited about what we talk about later on, which is the blackened whiskey.
Right.
Yeah. All right, Sammy, what you got? So you're the most beat up album in your
The
collection.
most beat up album, that would have been a close one too. I would say Leonard Skinner's live Freebird,
And what format is that?
because
on?
of the 1 month I had to learn that song for the talent show in the 9th grade
Nice.
in front of 1,200 people. And I could play a few chords and a couple of bar chords, but then I had to learn slide and what an E minor was. And
So
I
is
was
this on
familiar.
vinyl?
It's got-
cassette?
And slide. Oh, it was, yeah. With a, it was with the scratchy record players, and I have to really listen to it.
I was gonna say that's hard. Then you got to rewind it and hit the right point where you have to rewind
Everybody
it again.
always
to hit the
reminds
right
me
point.
how lucky I am to grow up in the age that I did. Back in my
So,
day, when we wanted to learn a guitar solo, we had to hit rewind and get
You
it
had
right
to
spot
hit
every
that
single
rewind,
time.
and then okay, too far. Nope.
You don't know how
Oh,
easy you
too
have
far.
it.
No,
Hear it all
not
the
far
time.
enough.
So yeah, I had to, had to learn this in 1 month. And I thought, my guitar says, well, we really got our work cut out for us. He says, well, here's the first lesson, the first week. And the second week came back, slide. The next week, the beginning of the lead is in, and the end of it, it's like we didn't realize at first that Leonard Skinner had 3 guitar players. And a lot of times you're playing 2 parts if you're playing the leads, because the 2 of them are playing. So I was having to overcompensate, but it wound up being a good thing in the long run, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That
there.
was a good thing.
You
All
learn the
right,
hard
Yeah.
way.
Tad.
My first album was Johnny Winter, Still Alive and Well.
Oh, cool. That's a good one.
There
That
you
was
go.
back
I have
in late 60s.
Nice.
And then I followed that up with my first concert. That was his brother, Edgar Winter.
Oh, shoot. All
That
right.
was back in 76, 74 maybe. 73.
Do you still listen to it a lot now?
See him at Stone Mountain for
Not
free.
as much, but
Wow.
I like the slide guitar a lot.
Yeah.
Johnny Winter was a famous slide guitar player. So.
For 20 minutes.
And then CJ told me when she first met me, I looked like Edgar Winter.
Yeah, a little bit.
I had to
sweet.
quickly go get a tan.
That's it. That's it.
Wait, you're saying I'm pale?
That's it. That's it.
Also, Ric Flair was one of the
Right.
Right.
somewhere.
Right.
This girl comes by that and was, what did she do that for? Woo! You know, was it? He looks like Ric Flair.
You're a mic stand now, if you didn't know.
Go
I
ahead.
was gonna
Doing
say,
my
yeah,
job.
that's the trick, man. That's what I'm saying. You get into it and you forget to move the. That's yeah.
That's all.
We'll make
I'm
another
done.
mic next time, man. Avoid all that.
End of story.
All right, awesome. All right, so we have to ask weird stuff here. So, would you rather be an elf or a hobbit for 24 hours? I still have bets on one thing. Let's see what happens.
And I'm on the other side of the table.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be an elf.
Elf. Why?
Told you. I knew it.
I like pointed ears. You know, remind
He just wants to have
me
pointy
of
ears.
Vulcan. You know.
Okay, okay, there you go. Nothing else but the ears. All right. What you got?
I'd have to go with Elf too because of the powers, you know, being able to do all the good stuff and, you know, yeah.
Now, wait
All the
here.
magic and the
All
long
the magic,
lifespan.
yeah.
It's got magic.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
have magic things. They can make magic
Hobbit.
mead. It's amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
Not the same way.
Sammy.
I guess I'd have to be a hobbit because I'd have to take care of all the habits that they forgot to do because they couldn't.
That's it.
Because
They
they're
said, we
Ho-
said
they're,
hobbit, not habit.
Hobbit, but it's a habit
hobbit.
too, man.
I got a habit right now. No, I got to take care of all the rest of the stuff that they didn't. So I guess somebody's
Yep.
got to be the hobbit.
Somebody's got to be the hobbit. Is what I'm saying.
Somebody has to worry about second breakfast anyway.
Yeah, I mean
Exactly.
second and third breakfast and everything else that comes after.
You remember this? What you want them scrambled or sunny side up? Just remember, it's hard to unscramble an egg after sorry scramble. So.
It
That
is.
is true.
So get your order right.
That is true. Words of Wisdom by South Rock.
Right.
Watch out, watch out.
More whiskey, more whiskey.
There's no
For
kids
breakfast?
Yeah, all right. Okay, I haven't asked this question very often. So what is something about yourself that you can tell us that sounds like it's completely made up, but it's 100% true? Sam already got something. You were cracking up.
I have way too many.
I'm 11 years old and I judo flipped a horse.
Oh,
That's not real.
wow. Okay.
True. My
Okay.
sister, we lived on a 200-acre farm, and right by a highway, which most farms are, and one of the neighbor's cows got out, and a car hit it. She taught her horse how to open the barn gate. So her horse got out, was running down the fence line towards the highway. I cut it off at a 45 degree, put in a headlock, and flipped a 1,200-pound horse, 11 years old.
Remind me not to mess with you.
And
now
didn't
you know
hurt
judo
it. Didn't
works.
hurt it. I held it in a headlock. My sister comes around. You flipped my horse. You flipped my horse.
So if you ever need security,
Exactly.
hire this handsome gentleman with a beard, my fellow Viking. So there you go.
Viking.
All right, Brian, what you got?
I'm a boring individual. I don't have anything.
I've never flipped a horse.
I've never
Yeah.
flipped a horse. I
I know
can't
you.
even compete. How do you go after that?
Can we
You
do
know?
another question?
Right. I mean, you know, no, I nothing really. I mean,
You got something in there. We'll go to Sammy
Yeah,
for
let's
right
go to
now,
Sammy.
and then we'll come back.
Amy's good at pulling this stuff out of you, by the way.
All right, go Sammy.
Well, let's see. Only thing is, I've always had a little bit of fear. I hate to admit this, but of riding horses, and because I got bucked off a Shetland pony one time.
Oh my goodness.
I know they're very short,
They
but
can
I was
be
pretty
mean,
short at
by
that
the way.
time.
Those
I was
little-
only 7 years old or something.
I was bucked off a horse as a kid, too, and I was
This
afraid
one's
for a
got a nice
while.
little horse, nice horse.
Oh yeah,
They're little mean little SOBs. Kick
they can be mean. They
Right,
can be
man.
mean.
So bucks me off and I land on a barbed wire fence.
Oh,
I got
Ouch.
scars all over me.
Oh, yeah.
And then I
Golly.
get up and everything's good and the horse ran away and I don't know whatever happened to that horse, but a little small pony Shetland was gonna run it off. I fixed to run it off anyway. But and then after that I seen a panther right across the street, a black panther. I had never seen one of those big cat.
Well, it's probably
It
why it
screamed
bucked
and
you
it sounded just like
It was probably
a woman screaming.
terrified.
Not running with you on
Scared
me.
the hell out of the
Yeah,
horse.
so,
Fuck.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was like, whoa, I need to go home. Bad day. But,
Yeah, bad day. Hashtag bad day. That's another song. And for you, Brian, here's something that nobody believes, that you are actually, you masquerade as a mic stand
Yes.
when you aren't working.
Yep.
Yeah, a human mic stand for people.
That's my highlight. That's the highlight of everything.
There you go.
But
All right, did you come up with anything?
yeah, actually, I did. While we were sitting here, as I'm sitting here with these guys, I'm actually blessed because I walked away from the music industry a long time ago, and really never thought that I would be back here. And when I said I didn't have anything special, well, this whole situation right here is my highlight right now.
All right.
Believe it or not, to be sitting here between these guys and just enjoying life in a whole new perspective, because I used to be one of those little, Boy Scouts, and here I am sitting playing rock and roll, listening to
has a stripper name.
Yeah, I've even got the stripper name. So yeah. So this would have to be it, but who's not going to believe it because I'm on the radio? We're all talking about it. So.
Yeah. There you
But
go.
this
There
would
you
be
go.
my highlight. This
Awesome.
would be it. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right.
We hope the best for everybody's in our future to come,
There you go. There you
including
go.
you guys. So
That's awesome.
right.
And so we actually are about to take our break, and almost don't want to leave it on anything else but that. That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was really great.
So what I want to do is we're gonna take a break, but first, my last question to you guys is, you must choose one: Guns N' Roses or Aerosmith. Yep.
Aerosmith.
Thank you,
Nick-
Tad.
and we back in the day we had nicknames for both of them. That's funny.
Yeah, I believe Aerosmith too.
Oh, all right. We're getting the Aerosmith tonight.
Yeah, that's a tough one because I was influenced by both bands, but it would either be Runny Noses or Harold Smith, and I'll have to say Harold Smith.
We play Walking the Dog every show.
Yeah, I played a lot too.
Do it.
Show you how to walk the dog.
All right. There we go. And on those notes, we are going to be back. Enjoy. We have a quick break that we're going to take 10 minutes. You guys in podcast land, we're literally going to be right back as if nothing happened. Everybody else, go get some snacks. Go get your coffee, whatever gets you going, because we got an entire second half. We're going to keep these guys here in the studio. And we've got lots of fun stories for you guys. More music trivia to hit you with. Win some more stuff. Drink some more with us. Laugh some more with us. And let's keep this going. So enjoy this intermission. We'll be back in 10 minutes, y'all. 3, 2, 1.
Bleep.
Show starts in 10 minutes. What is it?
Say, what is it?
Hey, why it's Buttercup, popcorn and sweet green butter, too hot popcorn. Mix it up, wrap it up, Buttercup is born.
It's delicious.
So nutritious,
It's a taste delight. It's so munchy.
crisp and crunchy.
You'll enjoy each bite.
Eat butter drenched Buttercup popcorn at its best.
Served in a king-size cup.
It beats all the rest.
Show starts in 9 minutes.
Here's a new taste treat. The corn dog. Plump, juicy wieners are dipped in a thick, golden Southern-style corn batter that seals in all their freshness and flavor. If you like hot dogs, you'll love corn dogs. Everybody does. Try a corn dog with your favorite beverage. At the refreshment corner now. Corn dogs.
Show starts in 8 minutes.
Today we're interviewing a stomach.
Hello there.
What is life like as a stomach?
Oh, boy, it was humdrum. I mean, until what's-his-name discovered Tony's Pizza.
Tony's Pizza?
Yeah, I was suffering from the pizza cravings until Tony's came along. Crispy crust and zesty sauces. Wow.
And so now... What's that?
Another pizza craving. Just thinking about Tony sets it off.
Oh, where are you going?
He's going to get a Tony's Pizza, and I follow him anyway.
Does your stomach send you pizza craving signals? Hurrah. Tony's, the Pizza Cravers Pizza. Available at the concession stand. Show starts in 7 minutes.
It's refreshment time, folks.
Taste that beats the others cold. Pepsi pours it on. Taste that beats the others cold. Pepsi pours it on.
Yum, yum. It's a meal in itself. Our all-meat super dog. Enjoy one now. Show starts in 6 minutes.
Men, there's a drive-in movie full of juicy people. Wow! It is a trap. Help! It's Pick. We've had it, men.
A pleasant aroma for you, but not for mosquitoes. Pick is easy to use. Light it and forget it. Pick's aroma keeps mosquitoes, gnats, and sandflies away. Pick is the best protection for barbecues, fishing and camping trips, or just relaxing in the yard.
So if you don't want our company ever anywhere, just light Pick and see what I mean? Bye.
Pick is on sale at the refreshment stand now. Show starts in 5 minutes.
A cup of whipped hot chocolate tastes great right now. Carnation's Cocoa Supreme, the delicious hot chocolate drink with the light, delicate flavor you like. Wouldn't a good hot cup taste good right now? Ask for a cup of whipped hot chocolate at our snack bar.
Show starts in 4 minutes. Yum, yum. It's time for a tasty and refreshing snack. We promise to satisfy your hunger, your thirst, your sweet tooth. So visit our refreshment center now. Let's go! Show starts in 3 minutes.
Popcorn. Candy. Ooh, hot dog. Popsicle. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Banana orange.
Show starts in 2 minutes.
Now listen, now listen, now listen. I'm the Dairy Queen, won't you come with me along the milkshake way? I've got lots of good surprises, fresh and yummy for you every day. There are malts and shakes and sundaes too, whenever you stop. And of course your very, very favorite, the cone with the curl on top.
You don't have to just dream about Dairy Queen. Your favorite Dairy Queen treat is a refreshing reality at your nearest Dairy Queen store.
Show starts in 1 minute.
For our patrons, men, women, boys, girls. Through the cooperation of leading business places, you may now have free admission to this theater. Ask for dividend tickets when you shop at Names of merchants who give dividend tickets are listed in the lobby of the theater and on circulars at the concession stand. Dividend tickets will be accepted on all standard box office priced films. So take a circular with you today and start saving dividend tickets tomorrow when you shop. See your next movie completely free.
And now, on with the show.
We're back.
Hey.
Hey, hey, hey,
We are
hey.
back.
What's up, everybody? We are in the second half of the SonicSphere podcast. Hopefully you guys stuck with us, and we have an entire second part, which is all the cool music stories for the week, music trivia, things that happened this week in music history, things that happened this week in music currently. And we're going to keep our guests here. They're going to filter back here in a second. We're going to filter them back in. They're being rock stars, but we'll get them back in. And we have to do our big coin flip, or
It's
our
a pick flip today.
to see who's going to go first. We're going to try something new. We're going to actually trade off stories this week. So we're going to see who goes first.
Let me examine this picture.
All right, he's got to examine it,
There's a
make sure
blank,
it's
and
still
then there's
good.
a label.
Oh, that looks like a number one Dunlop.
Number
No.
one Dunlop.
No, this is a 2
No.
millimeter. I wouldn't
2
play with anything
millimeter.
less.
Oh, yeah, it is.
That's right. Nothing less than 2
Best thing
millimeters.
for leads, people.
Wow.
There you go. I use a
Fast and
3.
tight.
I'm
Best thing for
impressed.
basses.
You're a bass player.
3 millimeters,
I
and I
play
shred
10s.
them. I shred a 3
Oh, I do too.
millimeter.
I get them down to they're just missing most of that, and then I have to.
All right, I'm gonna say
You want label or blank side?
blank. I'm
You
gonna
want the
say
blank.
no label. Let's see what
Right,
happens.
I'm gonna do the thing where I put it in the back of my hand. I guess that's
Okay.
fair. That's fair, right? So it doesn't flip like a quarter, does it?
No, it's
Okay.
we're gonna start this. All right.
It's a
And
label.
the label. Julie's going first. All right, guys.
Okay.
We are going to start with our, like I said, we're going to switch it up. So Julie's going to do a story. I'm going to do a story. We're going to switch it up. We're going to keep trivia throughout. You guys can still continue to win points and all that good stuff. Also, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Of course, if you guys like what we're doing, you like to keep this going. We love you. We need you. So please hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you guys anything to do it, and that really helps us. Plus, when we go live, let you know we're live. So there you go. You can't miss out on that. We've got a full schedule for the rest of this month into August and even into September now. So we got lots of artists, lots of bands that are going to be coming out, and we really want to share this all with you guys. Also, if you guys like what we did with South Rock here, we got some South Rock fans. Make sure you guys also like this episode. So that they know that you guys like what they're doing, like them. So let's hit it, Julie. You're first because you won
All right. The pick toss.
pick toss.
Tick toss.
Tick toss.
The tick toss.
All right, the pick toss. All right, let's go for it.
Well, we actually get to start way back in 1657 because this was when the pendulum clock was patented by this Dutch inventor. His name was Christian Huygens.
I think this is the oldest story you've brought, right?
One of them.
It's pretty old, yeah. This is one of the older ones. Okay.
It was really like a matter of necessity for him. He needed time accuracy for his astronomical measurements. He was more interested in the stars and time that was passing, but he needed an accurate measurement of time, which there really was none until this. So there's a lot of mysteries that really go on with the phenomenon of the pendulum and how it really works. And where I'm going with this is why we have metronomes now. This is how we can keep time. This is why we have time, that we know how to keep it. We all agree upon it.
Time, which later becomes BPM.
Yes, and so where I'm leading into this is that the pendulum made the metronome possible.
Nice.
So where I'm going with this, and where the trivia question is going to be for this, is who was the first composer to actively use the metronome and put BPMs in his score?
Ooh, okay.
And
we're talking about the 1600s.
No.
Okay, so a little bit later.
This is later.
Okay.
Who was the first person to use the BPM?
First composer.
First composer, yes, to put it in the score.
Okay, so first composer
to take advantage of the metronome.
To use the metronome and a BPM in their score. Do we have any guesses over here?
I'm guessing Beethoven.
We'll find out in a minute. We're going to keep on going with this stuff.
Of course, you guys in the chat room can also put your guesses in, because I know you're over there. I got some trivia people here. Come on.
So anyway, the fact that this is the phenomenon I'm talking about. The fact that moving pairs of pendulums can become synchronized was first observed by Christian Huygens back in the 17th century. When he was doing this, this became the most accurate timekeeping device for 300 years. Nobody really topped him for 300 years. Synchronized pendulums still kind of have today's researchers sort of scratching their heads, really. Synchronization is two or more events happening at the same time. It's what it's classified as. It's one of the most common phenomena in nature. Think about two hearts when they get two heart cells when they get close together will start keeping time, even if they don't belong from the same body in a petri dish. It's really ingrained in everything that exists in our world. Really, the synchronization in art and dance and a lot of things. Synchronization is very natural to us. For physicists, though, synchronization is particularly intriguing in inert systems. So do this. If you place two identical metronomes on a wooden bar mounted on two fizzy drink cans, for example, something that will reverberate, the two will synchronize within minutes or even seconds. So they can be opposite. They can be opposite one another. Within a few minutes, they're going to quit doing this and they're going to start doing this. It doesn't take long.
So there you go.
So why is that? How do the metronomes decide, quote unquote, to get together?
Who's going to take the lead? And who's going to follow? Or if
or
there is a lead,
are they going to come to the middle? Yeah. So how do they decide what the common rhythm is, and more importantly, why do they even do it? So there's 100 years of research, and I put it in hundreds of years of research. I put it in the link so you can get into this because this is a shorter podcast.
I did just post the link, so you guys in the chat room will get first dibs, so go check it out.
About 300 years of research, lots of scientists all over Europe and the U.S. Huygens himself even tried to use the pendulum phenomena as a guiding device for sailors to judge the rate of the pendulums coming together to judge latitude. It worked 70% of the time. They still got lost.
So they only got lost 30% of the time.
Yeah. So the sextant turned out to be a better place telling device for where you are on the globe. But he was on the right track, though. He was a very brilliant man. he very much was on the right track. And you can check out some of the other scientists who also expounded upon his ideas and did a lot more research. Further progress on what we know as Huygens synchronizations didn't really come about until about 100 years later when an English gentleman by the name of John Elliot, he was a clockmaker. They had clocks in England at that time. I think Big Ben was built at this time. Submitted a manuscript to the Royal Society. In it, he described an odd phenomenon when two pendulum clocks were placed next to each other, so the pendulums were oscillating in the same plane. One of them always stopped working after about a couple of hours every time.
That's weird.
That happened also with Molly Hatchet. I noticed their guitar players will start
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that.
Whereas the other would keep swinging normally as if nothing had happened. Elliot concluded the two pendulum clocks were influencing each other through the common structure of which they were placed, meaning they were on the same surface. Not a lot of progress was made until about 130 years later by another British guy named William Ellis. He was also working on this phenomenon, and he observed two pendulum clocks that had been placed on a wooden stand. Over 9 consecutive days, he watched them and noticed that the times indicated of the clocks were identical, even though one pendulum was swinging to the left and the other to the right. They were keeping the same time, but they were doing this. But they kept the same time. So curiouser and curiouser, right? So in other words, they were oscillating at the same frequency but in opposite directions, exactly as Huygens' experiment on the ship. So Ellis recounted his findings in a paper, and he published it. And this got some other scientists looking at it, of course. And this became one of the first formal attempts to explain synchronized motion. And at this point, a lot of studies.
So it doesn't explain synchronized swimming per se.
No.
But
No.
no. Don't quite get that, but okay.
Does idiosyncrasy come into play anywhere down the line?
No. So anyway, all of these studies have helped to shed light on this the secret of self-synchronization in pendulum clocks. Although Huygens didn't have the mathematical tools at the time to explain the weird phenomenon, we have calculus today. And we now know that correctly understood the underlying mechanism of synchronization is due to the clocks transferring energy to one another through the coupling bar in the form of vibrations. So that's the working behind it. And the clocks start moving exactly out the same phase. In other words, when the vibrations exerted by one pendulum clock on the coupling bar are exactly canceled by the vibrations on the other one on the other end, then they come in time.
Good vibrations. Good vibrations.
You did it, so I was waiting on you.
I did it. I went there. All right.
So, I mean, there's still some questions. I mean, because there's, these are isolated experiments, like, will any pair do this? Only certain types? Can you synchronize more than 2 pendulums? Can you have 16 of them? So only since the start of this millennium have scientists really started shedding further light on it. It was actually in 2002, a team of Georgia Tech tech scientists in the U.S. here in Atlanta designed and built a simple version of Huygens' experiment using mechanical metronomes instead of pendulum clocks. They concluded that the sympathy of time observed by Huygens and his clocks is largely influenced by the coupling strength, again, that vibration, which is the ratio of total mass of the pendulum to the total mass of the coupling bar, where the clocks are hanging from. A large ratio indicates a strong interaction. A ratio indicates a strong reaction between the pendulums, whereas a small ratio corresponds to a weak one. So, for the small ratio, the pendulums synchronize with the opposite phase, whereas for a large ratio, the pendulums exhibit a beating depth phenomenon in which one pendulum keeps oscillating, whereas the other one comes to a stop. So that's why they observed that, and we didn't really even know that
one
until
overtakes the other if it's
19
too strong.
years ago. So
see, all
pretty
math
cool.
is in every part of your world. By the way.
Much funner than
That's it.
So in the midst of all this, I told you they actually used metronomes instead of regular pendulums in that experiment. So of course we had pendulums because of his research. A guy by the name of Dietrich Weinkel in 1814 was experimenting with pendulums. We discovered that a pendulum weighted on both sides of a pivot could beat steady time. So it would keep the same time. It would never slow down. You would have to wind it again. It would just keep going. And he was like, well, how cool is that? Like, he already started thinking about the practical applications of it. And even for slow tempos, commonly used in European classical music, it would keep whatever rhythm you set it to. You could speed it up or slow it down. It would keep it. And so he dubbed it the musical chronometer and donated the first model to an institute there in Amsterdam for study. Of course, like every good idea, it did get hijacked. A year later, a gentleman by the name of Johann Maetzel copied his metronome, added a scale to it, and successfully had his metronome patented. And during that time, he only made a couple hundred of them and sent them out to friends. One of those friends was Ludwig van Beethoven.
Got it.
And Beethoven loved it, and he started putting the BPMs from the metronome in his score so that it wasn't up to interpretation.
Right.
So something was allegro. It wasn't just your interpretation of quick. It was this many BPMs.
I was going to say, I mean, a lot of this, too, with Beethoven was where it was standardizing what we know as a scale, as well as what we know as tempo, which is the foundation of basically Western music as we know it, period. So that's a big thing because, I mean, before that was even standardized, an A could be various frequencies until it was standardized within within the scale.
432.
And Beethoven actually recommended to Maetzel that he lower the scale. His stopped at 50. He said some sections are slower than that. You need to make the lower end of it 40. And that was his only recommendation.
Okay. Okay.
May I add, which could have been a visual thing for Beethoven because he was more deaf.
Hmm.
He became more deaf.
Yeah. At this time he wasn't deaf, but I think he was probably already having problems at this time.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So CJ was talking about for you guys that can't hear. That at this time, of course, as his eyesight went, as his hearing went, relied a little bit more on the eyesight, and this possibly being something that he could see, in the music itself, and yeah, interesting. All right, that's cool. There you go, man. Very important
Otherwise
stuff.
We would never
Wow.
have those caricatures of presidents and stuff that we got the swinging arm.
Swinging arm, the cats, the money cats.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing with the money cats too.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a whole thing with that. So
The
check
dancing
that out,
one,
the
yeah.
money cats. Alrighty.
This is just opening. It's not wow.
So we're gonna go from sort of the beginning of BPMs. I'm gonna talk a little bit about what's currently happening with Metallica.
Oh, Tad gets that point, by the way. Don't forget.
Yeah, Tad gets the point.
Right.
About sort of what's happening right now with music. So we're going to kind of go from one extreme to the other, which is right now what is happening with the fact that we just went through a pandemic and shows were canceled or postponed. So a lot of people don't realize there's a lot of money that goes into this stuff. And there's things called underwriters and insurance for shows and festivals and tours. So what happened when all of that stopped, when the music stopped? So that's kind of a question of where we are right now. So this is an interesting lawsuit to follow, because if you're in the music business, this may affect the future of what happens with tours and festivals and all the stuff that you guys like to go see, but also as artists doing any of these kind of things. So, of course, Metallica kind of being on the forefront of sort of legal challenges and making sure what's due is due. They have basically gone and sued officially the insurer who underwrote their 2020 postponed tour in South America. So this is kind of a big deal. They're suing the London-based insurance market Lloyd's of London underwriters. It is for unspecified compensatory damages from the postponed 2020 tour due to specifically the coronavirus. All right. So basically, there was a handful of shows they had booked across South America. And of course, by the way, these aren't even rescheduled yet. I mean, they were said to be postponed, which means also you got to think about it. If it's postponed, people did not get refunds for tickets.
Right.
They're sitting on those tickets and they have not been rescheduled. So there's lots of parts and elements to this whole thing and levels. And according, of course, so NBC Los Angeles kind of put this out, the story, is that basically Lloyd's of London is refusing to pay Metallica, compensate them for the money losses endured of basically having postponed this. So now, obviously, it's going to trial. It's basically that it was 6 dates that they were supposed to do in April in 2020 in Chile, Argentina, Brazil. This would have been the first of a couple shows since, of course, James Hetfield came out of rehab, right? So if you guys remember all that, we talked about in the late 2019s. Greta Van Fleet was also supposed to be on that. So this is interesting. Like, what did they do to... You know,
do you think they'll jump on this?
I don't know. So that's what I'm saying. Like, this
Yeah.
may set some sort of precedent. I don't know.
Make a new
But-
standard.
Yeah. So basically, they purchased. So prior to the tour, Metallica had purchased a cancellation, abandonment, and non-appearance insurance policy. That's basically saying, like, in case of anything gets postponed or there's a cancellation, that everybody still gets paid. Essentially, is what those policies are. But it's kind of out of the ordinary. We had a global pandemic that shut down music. Unordinary, right? So this all happened. So what does this fall into? The policy, of course, there is, of course, it's insurance company. So you know they're going to have some way of getting out of it.
Act of God.
Right? All right. So, yeah. So Lloyd's of London basically cited in response that the policy's communicable disease exclusion. Yep. And they refused to reimburse the
disease
band.
exclusion.
Yeah.
I've never seen this. Okay, fine, whatever.
Yep. Refused to basically reimburse the band for their losses, quote unquote, based on an unreasonably restrictive interpretation of the policy. So a lot of legal talk, but
was that clause in there the whole time?
This is the suit reads. Yep.
Okay.
They claim that they basically they went to a Los Angeles Supreme Court. Metallica. This was on Monday. The band said that Lloyd's of London committed a breach of contract by denying them the compensation, and they're seeking unspecified damages. On Thursday, Lloyd's of London represented, of course, put out a statement saying they're not an insurance company. So Lloyd's, quote, let me make sure I get this right, quote unquote, Lloyd's is not an insurance company. It oversees and regulates the market of independent insurers. Yeah. The statement read, for that reason, we have no information on any specific policy or lawsuit, and in any event are not authorized to comment on these matters. So basically they got out of it. They, of course, have not announced any of the rescheduled stuff for any of that. And of course, you do have Metallica is playing a lot here in the U.S., so they're coming up with Larger of Life. They're going to play in that and a couple different things. But yeah, there you go. So that's interesting to me. Where is this going to go? And how is this going to be handled? I mean, I feel like it's just going to be settled out of court, and it's not going to really change much in the industry. But it's interesting. A lot of people don't realize, I think, we got to draw attention to all the things that go into building a tour and going on a tour.
Right.
And the amount of money that exchanges hands and all of this stuff. It's a lot. It's more than you just going to buy your ticket to go see the band. So there's a lot of that. There's also, obviously, this is unprecedented times. I mean, it's just crazy, who's getting compensated for what. Until we had the Saver Stages Act and a couple other things, there was no compensation for the people who worked backstage and did lighting and rigging and all that kind of stuff. So, I don't know, man. We're in new territory,
Yeah, I mean, does the little guy get paid too? That's the question. If they get paid, is everybody going to get paid across the board?
Every day is unprecedented, and that's why laws are fluid, but this really is a big one. I mean, we've never, in the last 100 years, had to deal with something like this. At least a lot of unanswered questions.
At least when we're having full-blown tours across multiple continents.
Yes.
Right.
I got to give it up for Metallica. They're not scared.
I was going to say, Metallica, again, not scared of jumping in the legal water.
No, they're not. They usually never have been.
There you go. Whether you love them or hate them, we'll be interested to see.
It helps to be a big guy sometimes.
Yep. So we'll see where this goes. And like I said, I have a feeling that I think I know where it goes. But just think about, all the things that happen behind the scenes and a lot of this insurance stuff, how you can get out of it. Literally, act of God, we're out of it.
Right.
So yeah, just again, also legal things for bands. Just be aware. Get a good lawyer, somebody that knows the entertainment business. Make sure that you are legally protecting yourself out there. If you're a band, you have any kind of music out anywhere, in any of that stuff. So that's just kind of a cautionary tale, I guess, and we'll see where this goes. All right, Julie, what you got?
Well, speaking of who gets what.
There you go.
1936, this was when Edwin Armstrong first demonstrated FM radio to a Washington, D.C. fact-finding panel headed up by the FCC to demonstrate to them what FM could do for the future of radio and TV. So here's the trivia question. Who really gets credit for FM radio? Historically speaking, and who has really the rights?
Okay, that'd be curious.
That Italian guy, I forget his name.
Who has the rights?
Not him.
Okay.
It's not an Italian guy. There's your clue.
Yeah.
There's your first clue.
Not some Italian dude.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, while we're pondering on that, and you gotta remember how long this took too. We just talked, I think, on the last podcast about the first, I guess, integration of FM radio was in 1961. Remember, they went live at midnight in 61. Well, this is back in 1936 that the first demonstration was made about the practicality of it. So meanwhile, in his research at Columbia, Armstrong had for a long time been searching for a cure for the problem of radio static. He hated it. We all do. But he had come up empty-handed. Once he finally concluded that it was impossible to separate intelligence from static with conventional amplitude modulation, he took another look at frequency modulation, or FM. His truly revolutionary breakthrough was his discovery of wideband FM. Because until that time, all radio research had the goal of narrowing the bandwidth. That was their goal. and trying to squeeze more intelligence into a smaller space instead of going to wideband. Armstrong took the opposite approach because the other one wasn't working, and he discovered that the very wide deviation of frequencies delivered vastly superior audio quality and performance.
The guy I was thinking it was Marconi.
No, it wasn't Marconi at all.
Yeah,
It was a good guess,
one
though.
of the originators.
We know him as the father of radio, but he was more on the so high fidelity, high fidelity audio and high signal to noise ratio, also by spreading the intelligence over a larger frequency range. Less transmitter power was required to achieve the desired range. Think about like how far a radio station could reach back in the day.
AM, you have to have more power to broadcast it in a shorter range.
And FM, you do not.
FM,
So furthermore, FM signals were much more immune to interference than AM due to its capture effect, which was an interfering signal needed to be more than 50% the strength of the desired signal to make an audible interference. So if it was less than half of the strength, you wouldn't even hear it, which is great because AM radio, there's a lot of interference.
That's true. Yeah.
If you ever hear me say, "That's a good question," that means I don't have a clue.
Sammy says, "I don't know. I don't know. It's a good question."
Well, we're gonna get into it, and it's gonna be one of these when you realize it. But it's one of those things also that they stole it, which is why I said getting into about who owns
they
what.
stole it. No,
So,
so.
This characteristic would considerably reduce the required separation between stations occupying the same channel and allow more channel reuse. Think about all the call signs we have for radios, for radio stations, which would compensate for its greater occupied bandwidth, and most importantly, because of all the natural man-made static, is amplitude modulated FM proved to be amazingly, awesomely noise-free actually. And so Armstrong improved upon his resistance to noise still further by incorporating a new receiver component, a limiter that stripped off the amplitude variations and received signal before it even reached the detector.
A limiter. We know what that is.
Yeah, so he finally solved the problem of static interference altogether, which is
cool.
pretty amazing.
Wow.
It would have been impossible for him to use wideband FM system and the commercially active radio spectrum at the time, though, because they were on this 200 kilohertz to like 30 megahertz spectrum. So we had that roadblock. It's 2 kilohertz like wide FM channel alone occupied the space of like 20 channels for AM. So like it was cluttered, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But that ultra high spectrum above 40 megahertz was basically like the Mariana Trench no one explored it. It was like virgin frontier. So this is where he decided that he was gonna, and it had plenty of room to accommodate spectrum hungry services like FM radio and TV. So problem solved.
Yeah, until now, where we're getting off of
FM.
We have a whole new problem now.
Yeah.
But
So
we're getting off of FM. We have a whole new problem now.
So Armstrong actually gave his first private demonstration to David Sarnoff of RCA in 1934. But they didn't really have a lot of interest in licensing his technology. So he was like, oh, well. And he gave his first public demonstration to the IRE in November, like a year later in 35. They were a little more impressed. Its members heard amateur radio stations operating an FM frequency 17 miles from the meeting location, so they were pretty impressed by that. All who heard the FM demonstration for the first time were really astonished at its clarity. It sounded like the orchestra playing in the same room. So although it was light years beyond the capabilities of standard AM broadcasting at the time because he didn't have the facilities, the quality was already so much better. So finally, he's gaining some traction here, and it was on this day in 1936 that they gained the FCC's interest, and he gave that demonstration, and they granted him the ability to build his own radio station there in New Jersey, just outside New York City, outside of Columbia.
All right.
Where he worked.
All right.
So the question is, who really owns the rights to it, though, unfortunately?
Who owns the rights? Yeah, that's a good question. So this wasn't like patent rights?
Well, unfortunately.
Okay, so like who has the patent for this,
even though he did all the work, who has the patent?
Tesla.
Right.
So contrary to popular belief,
that's my guess last week.
Yeah, well, that was a great shot in the dark.
That was good.
So contrary to popular belief, Armstrong did not invent FM. The first patent for frequency modulation had been filed as far back as 1902.
Oh, okay.
In the 1920s, RCA had experimented with FM and found it lacking, but they filed the original patent. Although all this work had been done using narrowband deviation in 1922, like Bell Labs engineers had published the mathematical study that indicated FM was less frequency efficient than FM than AM, and subject to heavy distortion. So the knowledge was already there, but no one touched it because of the world wars and everything that happened. And so unfortunately, they closed the book on further investigations until Armstrong opened them again in the 30s. So he did all the legwork, but he didn't make that initial discovery.
So around what time did FM? Because in my memory, growing up,
1961.
It started getting a lot better.
So it was made standard in 1961.
Right, because you'd put on the AM stations, and it would be way more staticky than FM. Right. Cool.
Yep.
Okay. Nice. There we go. All right. Is that what we got for radio? FM radio?
Yes,
the
ma'am.
beginning of that. So we're going to go from that to some trouble. More trouble for Megadeth's bassist. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. So it has been confirmed, y'all, that all of his parts are being taken off of the new album. Yep. So David Ellefson's bass parts are going to be removed from Megadeth's new album that's coming out.
Wow.
It's been confirmed. Yeah. They will be replacing him, of course, and the same bass player that's going to be basically going with him on tour is the one that's going to be doing all the bass parts again on the album. So it's a pretty big deal, man, to have all of it. I mean, it's pretty official.
I mean, it's Megadeth without Dave, you know.
Yeah, it's well, some people question that. I mean, Dave will be there. David Ellefson, the bass player, one of the original bass players, is not going to be there. So, and of course, you guys remember the whole thing that's kind of gone on with the video that leaked, and you know, we're in this time where he got called out. So what's the newest other news with this is that basically Ellefson has officially filed the revenge porn charges against the person that leaked the video. He's actually went ahead and did that as well, so that's the newest update on that.
Was that the right thing to do?
I mean, that is his entire life and career is literally gone right now.
Right.
They do not think it was the woman who was involved in the whole thing, who was an underage woman. They don't think it was her. But yeah. So there you go. So the summer tour, of course, is going to be coming out. They're going to be playing with Trivium and In Flames, as well as Lamb of God. That does begin on August 20th, and if you guys go back to last episode, I announced who the replacement bass player is, so you guys got to go back and listen to that. But yeah, that's the newest stuff, so Ellefson, man, you screwed that hell up, man. You're out, man. That sucks for you. So it's interesting, too, because this is also another thing of where is the industry going, and where are we right now with we'll say cancel culture, but just
liability.
Where we're going, with liabilities and where we're going with all of that stuff. So, you know, and there's been people have cited, you know, if this had happened in the 70s, none of this would have happened, but unfortunately.
I mean, it's not the worst thing, because, you know, obviously you said, people used to say, well, that's just what he does, and turn a blind eye.
That's what he uses, and
that's what he now does. It's, well, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, she was definitely underage. I mean, and it was a lot of video that came out, and... You know, again, just, you know.
Well, it wasn't like the guy was in a church choir.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's what I was. So, yeah, so basically a statement came out May 24th that by Megadeth and Mustaine that said that basically Ellefson was released from the band, and they basically we do not know every detail of what occurred with an already stained relationship, what has already been revealed now. It's enough to make working together impossible and no longer moving forward. There you go. But to have your stuff taken off of the album.
He had a lot of other problems besides that.
Yeah, I mean, this is not like...
It wasn't the only problem.
The only thing, but it's a pretty bold move to do, too. They're literally about to go on tour. We're in mid-June, and they're going on tour, releasing an album and going on tour.
They'll be
I hope
busy.
at least the guy get paid for what he did do, even if they take it off.
Well, I'm sure, he'll still have his right, his copyrights or whatever his percentage is within this stuff, I would think, but we'll see, It'd be hard to take that away, but,
Well, I don't know, copyrights, but he must have had some studio time,
Well, for the
writing, though, he did write a lot of
he did write a lot of the bass parts. Now, as far as this new album, if he's taken off of it,
are different,
if he's taken off, his bass parts are literally stripped from the album. He's not going to get.
They need an in-between.
Yeah, that's right.
You can help him there.
So that's that's pretty bad. That's pretty crazy. So yeah, that's the news I have on the whole Megadeth saga. Which who knew? We were so excited they were coming back. David was back on board with Dave, and
That's killer.
Jason Newsted is not going to be the bassist, y'all. So go check out the previous podcast episode. But yeah, so there you go, guys. Update on that. Julie, what you got?
Well, moving forward a little bit, it was this week in 1979 that Joy Division released Unknown Pleasures. So, I mean, whether you like it or not, that was a pretty iconic album for new wave, for post-punk, especially in Britain. It was really influential, and it had like a strikingly original sound for 1979 too. You got to think about that. It was a novelty to move guitars down in the mix. A lot of the melody occurs in the bass. And that was that new wave sound that they started back in 79. People don't really realize that sometimes. The drum sounds were processed enough to make you kind of question if they were acoustic or a form of electronics. So they were different like that. So here's a trivia question. You see the Joy Division, the t-shirts and like the posters and stuff. Does anybody know what that's actually an image of? Like what is that?
I always thought it was like a earthquake graph.
It's a type of graph. I mean, you're not terrible.
I'm not terrible.
Yeah.
Thanks, Julie. I'm not terrible.
I mean, it is a type of graph. So like that's not too far off base.
Okay. Thanks.
I'm glad you're not terrible.
You're terribly good.
Hang in there, Amy. Hang in there.
You're doing great.
All right, a fingerprint, but like in a really close look.
Think bigger.
Bigger. A tree ram.
Think
from
bigger
a
than
tree.
that. We're gonna get on some other stuff about the album.
Alien waves from outer space.
Warmer, but not yet. So anyway, here's some other things about it. Before we get to what that image is actually of that we all see. The album only took like 3 weekends to make. Joy Division were recording demos for their producer at the time with a view into getting to a major deal, but their manager had been talking to another factory boss who one night had decided that they should release the album through the local record company. Joy Division had appeared on Factory's first 3 releases. That was a local label, and so they did it. And they did it in 3 weekends because they all had 9 to 5s. Here's another thing. The inner groove on the vinyl points the way to the second album. It's kind of weird. So Joy Division were really keen on engraving messages and lyrics into run-out grooves on their vinyls. Joy Division's 2 sides were titled Inside, Side 1, and Outside, Side 2. The engraving on Side 2 says, "This is the way." While Side 1 replies with "Step, ... inside." This, of course, is the main lyric to the song Atrocity Exhibition, which had been written and performed live in the summer of 79 before they recorded it, but wouldn't be recorded in studio until the 80s follow-up Closer, of course, because...
They did record it?
Closer, the follow-up band after their singer's death.
I said Bullet Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So here is the answer to the artwork. And it is one of those famous album covers. And it was designed by Peter Seville, but the mysterious logo on the sleeve was taken from a book found by their guitar player Bernard Summer in the Manchester Library while he was on lunch break. He was reading. The diagram is a plot of the waves emitted by the first radio pulsar ever discovered back in 1967.
See,
so you're close with the aliens and the seismograph.
Not far off of that.
Not terrible, like I said, not terrible at all.
I'm not terrible.
That book was in the Cambridge Encyclopedia of Astronomy. Yeah. And the image represents a Fourier analysis of radio waves emitted by the pulsar CP 1919. A pulsar is the remnant, of course, of a dying sun when it collapses on itself, and he loved that idea.
That is
and
deep.
Yeah.
That is.
There you go. So I will never look at that artwork the same. I will think of a dying sun and a world collapsing.
I want to see that.
Black hole.
Right.
You have an understanding that this.
Yep.
And Wayne is like, I remember it's like, oh no, you know, yeah, South Rock, we're not into that, you know, the psychedelic, we know Southern rock, right? I'm like, oh, you have never seen Warren Haynes from, that did, you know, Soul Shine, he plays with Allman Brothers. You ever seen him do Shine On You Crazy Diamonds by Pink Floyd? So I have one that was, I won't tell you the whole story of that, but.
Hold on, we gotta get you on mic. You won't tell us the story.
The universe.
Hold on, we got a story from Sammy here.
One of those parties up in LJ, it started out like this. No, I won't tell you. No, but really, the bass player walks up to the mic, you know, one of those hippie trippy parties, and I'm there to do a job, so I'm actually playing in both bands called The Strangers, and then a band I had called The Instigators. So we would do a set, they would do a set, we would do a set, they would do a set. So there was like 4 sets. I think at the end of the night we always did what bands did. We then do a cluster jam at the end. But anyway, we won't go into all that. But anyway, so the bass player comes walking up to the microphone, and he starts playing. I'm gonna do the bass first. Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, cool. What's that, Phil? He's like, I don't know. And so I start going to do my wah-wah. Doing these weird chords with it, and everybody's like, well, that's cool, because they're, you know, whatever they're doing. You know,
They're doing whatever they're doing.
or you know, just having a good time, right,
Yeah,
basically. Different people, different strokes for different folks. But anyway, so the cool thing is, what is it? I don't know. So he just walks to the microphone and is like, the universe in motion, moving through time, endlessly, effortless, within its own mind. In its vast quest for existence, no boundaries are found. Only God knows, down to the second, how far the clock of time has been wound. Boom, boom, wow. So yeah, at some point it's going to be on the South, maybe the 3rd CD. But there again, me and her was talking about doing a double album. If I could talk.
All right.
See,
So
guys,
now we're doing
have enough content for a double album.
Now we're doing
Tell
a double.
'em, tell
Okay.
'em.
All right.
Tell Wayne, Tony.
All right.
Double album.
I'm gonna hold you to it. All right. Is that all we got for Joy Division?
Yes.
Before we move on to the Black Crows.
Yes.
Who talking about a band that put stuff out then and is now putting out stuff now. 20 years later, we have
I'm so proud.
some Black Crows music hitting our airwaves and ear holes. This is pretty cool. All right, so new music in the works for Black Crows. Already, of course, out on the road to celebrate. Guess what? What was the album anniversary we're at right now?
Shake Your Money Maker.
Shake Your Money Maker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, so we're right there. 20. They basically, this is the 20th anniversary of the debut album that came out, Shake Your Money Maker. And funny enough, they have 20 new songs for a new album.
Yes.
So yeah, there you go. Basically, frontman, of course, Chris Robinson confirmed they've already written these songs. After several years, of course, they kind of came together in late 2019. We even talked about that when they came together. Had a tour planned in 2020. Obviously, things happened like they all happened for 2020. And they were kind of talking about this tentative thing. Now it's real. Now it's there. So you guys get excited because we got some new Black Crowes music coming out. He explained basically, despite the different sonic directions that the band had gone to in the past, because remember, there's a lot. This is a reason why they weren't together playing. There's a lot of problems within the band. A lot of people trying to go in different directions, and they couldn't agree on it. So for them to have a reunion, number one, but then for them to actually do this, and one of the things that I've always said is, in some ways, the pandemic has a silver lining, and a lot of bands kind of slowed down enough and kind of realized, I guess, maybe enough that they do have a lot of stuff in common, and that maybe we can put something together, and we have time to put something together. We can put our crazy touring life and everything else that was going on and actually get into the studio, and let's see what happens. Magic happens in the studio. So yeah, that's basically kind of what happened. And this kind of comes into our title for the episode. He is quoted saying, basically when they were written about 20 new Black Crowes songs, which had already been really cool, and this whole idea of Shake Your Moneymaker thing has actually brought a lot of focus back to life. He said, wow, I realize how much I effing love rock and roll music.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, yeah, Epiphany, man.
Tiffany.
Tiffany. So there you go. He said, despite, of course, all of this things that there were whatever, that the pandemic and actually getting back in for this reunion tour has sparked a whole new writing and creativity for the band, and that they actually do really love playing with each other. How about that?
Fuzzy.
Yeah.
It's better than hating each other. Still having to play together.
I said it. They love playing with each other.
They love each other.
Yep. Of course. So they were not really. It's been super fun. They've been in the studio. The focus has been in the touring, but this kind of happened, and that, a bunch of dudes stuffed into a van. That probably does happen. So Black Crowes 2021 tour kicks off July 20th in Nashville, Tennessee. They're going to be bringing Dirty Honey with them, which I don't know if you guys have checked them out.
They're fun.
Really cool. Yep. Up and coming rock band. Definitely check them out if you haven't. And they're going to open throughout the entire tour for them. So that's really cool.
Good for them.
And of course, they are coming to Georgia, which I don't get to say this very often.
But they're coming.
They are coming to Georgia. So September 4th, guys, at Solaris Amphitheater at Lakewood. So that's a pretty big venue. That's going to be a big show. So here you go, guys. And as far as I know, that's going to happen September 4th.
Stoked.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. There we go. All right, Julie, do you have a final story for us?
Yeah, it's about the Berlin Wall.
Let's talk about the wall. and MJ, right?
And MJ.
And MJ. All right.
So it was this week in 1988 that over 3,000 Germans gathered on the other side of the wall to try to listen to Michael Jackson. It was during his Bad tour.
Oh, okay.
And it had been a problem already for concerts there at the Brandenburg Gate, which was an outdoor listening place for concerts, because in West Germany it was no problem, but of course in East Germany they did not want them to do that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's kind of the thing.
It was there to be heard. I mean, you could just lean on the wall or climb a tree or just and you could still hear the concert. So about 3,000 people did this. So, and I put this in the links. There's a video. Files kept by the former East German secret police, the Stasi, indicate that they were really worried about the concert that Michael Jackson was about to give. This was just over a year before the fall of the Berlin Wall, so tensions were mounting. They didn't know it was about to fall, but
Western culture influence and free thinkers.
But the East German youth were already being resistive. Of course,
they were hip to it.
And a note from the Stasi found in files later, in a circulation paper by a newspaper there called The Bild. The secret police were worried that the youths will do anything they can do to experience this concert in the area around the Brandenburg Gate. And they noted, certain youths are planning to use the occasion to provoke a confrontation with police. Certain youths.
Michael Jackson's been known for that,
Yeah.
I mean...
They were concerned that dissident youth would call for the wall to fall. This was
Dissonant Youth. By the way, that's a great song title
Dissonant
or an
Youth.
album title. Dissonant Youth.
Dissonant Youth. This was seen as a potential security threat, given the amount of foreign media that would be present. It would all be on film if they, climbed over. In fact, the Stasi had a good reason to worry. Actually, concerts in West Berlin, like Michael Jackson's, had already been a problem. The previous summer, a German music promoter by the name of Peters Schachnow, that's a hard name to say, currently the head of the German entertainment firm, which now brings in acts like Coldplay and Alice Cooper to the area. He's still working.
Oh, wow.
Had been responsible for putting on various concerts near the Berlin Wall. That actually included a 3-day...
He probably did it and piped it out
on purpose
to the other,
well, he didn't want anyone to get hurt, but they also wanted to be like, up yours over there on the other side of the wall. This included a 3-day open-air concert featuring David Bowie, Genesis, The Eurythmics, the summer before. He also told a newspaper there that putting on the concerts in West Berlin right next to the wall had been deliberate. So he admitted to this. When Pink Floyd performed there, they specifically and on purpose turned their speakers towards the east so they could hear.
Yeah.
They didn't want them to be left out.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
why would you exclude? Inclusion is better. Why would you exclude?
Music is free, baby. It's free.
So, I mean, there are thousands of people on the other side of the wall with tickets to the concert, but there are thousands more on the other side of the wall who did not have tickets, but they wanted them to participate.
Yeah, because we play for free, but he still moving around them cabinets and drum sets.
It's packing up and loading and packing up is what you're getting paid for.
The Stasi documents also include how they were trying to, like, I guess, circumvent this problem, and they even had like a diversionary concert in a stadium. They were trying to like draw people away from it.
They're literally having like another show at the same time.
They wanted to play his concert on a delay so that they could just cut it if anything bad was said.
Oh, well. Okay.
So, like, here's your concert, but we're going to be monitoring it.
That
kind
happens
of thing.
Still today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Delay. Oops, I hit the delay.
As it was, about 3,000 youth tried to listen to the other side of the wall, climbing trees, climbing the wall, and things like that. They were pulled down, sent home. Unfortunately, there was violence, and about only 3,000 youth really did stay.
No soup for you.
Strangely enough, about a month later, Bruce Springsteen also played at East Berlin, though. This is kind of cool. That crowd on the other side of the wall at the gate was about 160 people. At the concert, which was organized at the time, but by that same promoter, Peter, that I told you about, the East Germans on the other side of the wall sang "Born in the USA."
Awesome.
Yeah. And he made a speech saying, "I want to tell you that I'm not here for or against any government." He just said, "I came to play rock and roll for you East Berliners in the hope that one day all the barriers will be torn down." So a year before they got to say, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall," the boss basically did it.
Yeah, the boss.
Of course.
Yeah. The boss brought it in, tore it down. Tore it down. There you
Capitalized.
go. There you go.
And the Berlin Wall did come down on November 9th, 1989. I think that's actually my first global memory.
Yeah. Well,
very first, like, cognizant memory of, like, what might have been going on in the world besides, like, my nursery or something.
Nice. Wow. Always a big deal, too. I mean, it's a big deal. Yeah. Oh, all right. All right, y'all. That means we are at the end of the podcast.
Oh, no.
I know. Yeah, we got to get, we have to go to the bar next. So that's where we're headed. We are going to your friendly neighborhood bar.
I've already been there. What are you talking about?
We're going back.
Okay.
This is, of course, where
I never left.
We don't leave, you know.
We don't
leave here. This is where we talk about geekdom, brews, alcoholic binges, and anything that's left of any pulp culture that we have ends up here. We're in the bar, and we're going to talk about Metallica's Blackened Whiskey tonight. Whiskey from Metallica, inspired by none other than the... What's your most played record?
AC/DC, Back in Black.
What's your most played record? What's your most played record?
Johnny Winter.
Johnny Winter.
All right. So we had somebody said Back in Black, or not Back in Black, Black Album. You said Metallica tape. So this is inspired by, of course, the Black Album.
Right.
So this is a Black Album enhanced batch. So I think they just piped the Black Album into the warehouse when they brewed this. I mean, I would.
So it's infused with the sound.
It's infused with the sound of the Black Album.
I hope so. So, like, if you drink it, do you hear it?
I would. Yeah.
No,
so
like,
just enough. Yeah.
So it's a
Can
limited.
You hear it a little bit when you drink
maybe.
it?
Yeah. This is so. This is
so.
what it is. All right. So it comes with a limited edition pack using the signature Black Noise sonic enhancement process.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
So they mix it with the vibration.
All right.
Good vibrations.
I told you this is where we're gonna end up, guys. Okay.
Wow.
I mean.
You got a bridge in Brooklyn that's all you do.
Yep. All right. So the process has been used ever since they did their first batch, and they even have a special version that was enhanced by the S&M 2 live album in the fall of 2020. This is not the other S&M that you think about. This is the
Symphony Metallica?
yeah. The new pack, of course, comes with a 750 milliliter bottle of Black Album Enhanced Batch 114 whiskey. All right, so what does it have? Notes of burnt caramel, oak, honey, cinnamon, and much, much more.
Lots of oak.
Additionally, it comes with a collectible matte black whiskey coin and a snakebite cocktail booklet, which provides drink recipes specifically named after James Hetfield's signature ESP sound snakebite guitar. Yep. All right. So many things have changed for us, especially after the Black Album release. The perception of the importance of Metallica changed greatly, obviously with songs like Sandman, Unforgiven, and Nothing Else Matters becoming embraced by everybody all over the world, including classic rock channels and little children's channels. We have become a household name. People sing lullabies, Metallica lullabies. That changed our lives, and hopefully we're going to help the world change as well. With this whiskey. All right. So, as noted on the Blackened
Just don't give it to your
website,
children.
yeah, it's a limited edition Black Album whiskey pack. It's available through blackenedwhiskey.com, select stores, select states. All right. The website features, of course, a video of Robert, the bassist, unboxing the new whiskey pack. So you can go find that and see him do that. It's the 30th anniversary of the Black Album. 30 years, man.
Has it been that long?
It's been that long.
Wow.
30 years, yeah. Yeah, and this is, we talked about it. What was the hashtag from a couple podcast episodes ago? Hashtag Black Album 2021. Well, this answers your question. That's what it was. So it's still possibly that there might be more coming from this, an inspired Black Album, new album, Black Album. We'll see. Anyways,
The new Black Album is black as the other Black Album?
Black Album is black as the other album. All right, and my last bit, let's see if anybody actually guessed. What is the most used lyric word in Metallica's songs?
Is it a preposition?
No.
Okay.
So I'm going to get everybody's...
An adjective?
I'm going to get everybody's guess.
A verb?
I can't give you all that. Come on.
I'm just trying to narrow the scope a little bit.
I can't give you all that.
How about all?
Okay, so you're going with all?
Yeah.
Sammy, what are you going with?
Skip me and come back to me.
Matter.
Brian says matter.
Black.
Black. Julie says black.
Hey.
Hey.
It's not hey or yay.
Or yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or yeah.
No.
No, it's not no.
Is it you or your?
It's not you or your. It's not Last chance.
Trying to remember. Black was the CD, huh?
3, 2, 1.
Give it to us.
It was never.
Never.
I would have never got that.
You would have
Man,
never
I was
got
close.
it.
All or never.
All or never. There you go. All
I
right.
know.
It was
But
followed.
I want to recount.
It was followed by 1.
Okay.
The next one was C, and the fourth one was was number 12.
Yeah.
So there you go. Number
Right up
12
there near
was
the bottom of the list.
Right on the bottom of the list. All right, guys, that is the end of the SonicSphere podcast, episode number 57. We effing love rock and roll. That's right, we do. We love rock and roll. We love having these guys, South Park guys here with us. I knew I was going to do it. Oh, these guys, these jokers. We love having South Rock here with you guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, parting last words. We always go through. Everybody says parting last words. So I'm gonna start with let's start with Tad, and then give Sammy a microphone, and then we're gonna go down the line.
Just want to mention South Rock has a couple different whiskey songs.
There you go. There you go.
The first one was Whiskey Drinking Song. Let me tell you all the story about drinking with my friends. The charm of the bottle never ends.
The blackened
Yeah, the
whiskey.
whiskey drinking song, which was actually that guy we played, David Allan Coe's favorite original that we did.
Nice.
Cool.
Cool. All right.
Whiskey
Anyway,
Run.
and then Whiskey Run was written after the day after Dale Earnhardt died.
Whiskey.
And it's in thanks in tribute to Dale Earnhardt.
Oh, nice.
So,
all right. All
where's
right.
your
There you
mom
go.
and dad?
Lots of
Somebody
whiskey
lives
love.
next door to Dale Earnhardt Jr.
I grew up there.
He grew up there. Like some of his family or friend lives next door to Dale
Nice.
Jr. So
Nice. Yeah. The junior.
Yeah,
I grew up in Concord, North Carolina, so yeah.
Hand delivery.
All right. Hand delivery. All right. Brian. What you got?
And for South Rock, for all the platforms and everything, we will be coming out pretty soon, so keep your eyes open for us. We're coming out really soon, so.
There you go, guys.
Keep it
Nice.
the old foundation and the roots, but we're gonna take it in a few different directions.
Okay. So
kick it
new
up a
stuff. New stuff.
New stuff.
All right, Julie.
Good night. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. We'll see you in a week.
Hell yeah, guys. And as I always say, take it to the top. Be the rock stars that you guys are.
We'll
and
see you
we'll
there.
see you at the top. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, that's right.
And